Hello, hello, hello.
You want to start it off?
Um, shit. I guess this is Dead End Sports, where sports opinions collide. I don't know. I've never fucking
Host,
been the
yeah.
hosted this shit at all. Honestly, I never really hosted. The first time I hosted was the Black Korea podcast last
How
episode.
was that?
It was cool. It's different. Um, I think I did okay.
You had to think a lot, don't you?
You do because you're the one that has the conversation flowing.
Yeah.
But I'm just so used to being the talker.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I'm
It's
saying?
so much easier to be the talker than the
Yeah,
host.
so I think I talked a little too much as the host. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Rod, it was actually coming through the vent. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was the AC.
Nah,
But then I was like, yeah.
It's coming through the vent. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's a lot easier just being the talker
Yeah.
because you don't have to be cognizant of other motherfuckers.
Exactly. You don't have to make sure everybody
Just focus.
speak.
Yeah, yeah. But it was cool because we had like a doctor on there, a
Mhm.
therapist. The main topic was the five love languages. So it was cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We talked
I'm
about that
Black
too.
Korea, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All black people
Oh,
need
man,
to
hey, look, man, I told y'all.
find
man,
your
I had
love
a hit.
language.
God damn it, I'm gonna make sure that shit gonna blow. But yeah, nah, it was cool. It was definitely cool. This upcoming episode is about. I think it's gonna be even crazier, cause in Korea they have like kind of like this training program to become a star.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying like you get signed and like you have to do all of this stuff before you know what I'm saying, actually blow and they put you on. And we got a girl that went pretty far. You know what I'm saying? So the episode's gonna be how to become a K-pop star.
Oh
You know
shit.
what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Look, man.
Yeah,
Look,
you
man.
were saying that's the next wave, ain't it?
Next wave. But we gotta stay ahead of the game. That's all I'm trying to do.
All right.
But yeah, man. Hosting is so you got it. Do say.
You want me to do? Okay.
Yeah, you got the hosting.
This is a place where sports opinions collide. Dead end sports. Um, right now it's just me, your host, Nikki Duce, aka Mr. No Disrespect, and I'm here with the familiar face. Well, a part of the brand in general. FIFO, Mr. 24/7. How you doing, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you for saying the 24.
Of course, I gotta say it. I gotta
Thank you.
say it.
Appreciate it.
Man, yeah, sorry about last week, y'all. We just a lot of stuff was going on, so we had to delay it till this week. But there was a lot that went on when we was gone.
Mm-hmm.
NFL draft happened.
Mm-hmm.
We're now in the second round of the NBA playoffs, so I'm not gonna try to waste no more time. Let's just get right into it with the draft. So
Mm-hmm.
there was
no surprises at the top.
there were surprises at the top.
I said no surprises.
No surprises.
Well, we knew who was gonna go number one.
Are you just talking about number one, or are you talking about in general?
I
Like
was
the
talking about some number one.
okay.
But,
Why?
but what were some of the? Because
I was still surprised about the Kyler Murray thing.
Why were you surprised?
Because of the
That's
fact-
what was reported.
Well,
Like,
because there's so many things that's reported during, before the draft. Like, you don't know what's real and what's not.
but how often is a number one pick like not what everybody
Last year,
Who went number
Baker
one?
Mayfield going number one. Nobody picked that.
No, but there wasn't a consensus number one either.
There was talks with Saquon. There were talks with Sam Darnold.
Eh.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. There were talks with other
But
players.
Here's the thing. Some years there are consensus number ones and people are reporting this is the guy.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like you don't have nobody and it's up, it's a free for all. Last year was a free for all with Baker, right? Nobody knew exactly who was going to go. Early on, people were saying Kyler Murray. And, I was like, huh? A lot of people were like, huh? But then, you get all of the big pundits backing the story. Everybody saying it. People are saying the Cardinals are crazy for doing it. They're the only franchise back-to-back years to draft a quarterback in the first round, which is crazy.
I don't know if that's a good stat or a bad stat.
No, that's horrible. That's horrible. I think that's the signs of a super messed up franchise.
So even though we knew, okay, so a lot of people knew that Kyler Murray was going number one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more surprised that they actually did it because of the fact of that's not a position of need for them.
No.
They should have traded that pick, in my opinion.
Well, I think that you could have went other ways. You know what I'm saying? They could have traded down and get more picks because I think the Cardinals where they are currently is they just need talent.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you could have traded that number one pick and got maybe 2 first-round picks, 2 future picks, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like a third-round pick in this draft too. You do that. You know what I'm saying? But man, And then here's the other thing, right? Like they didn't. Who's the guy that they drafted last year? Josh Rosen.
Yeah, Josh Rosen was the first pick last year.
Josh Rosen,
number 10, I think.
they didn't even trade him yet. You know, so if Kyler's really your guy, fine, I get it. New regime, really love this kid. He's gonna be our franchise guy. Don't know who picked the other kid. We ain't rocking with him. Then you gotta let him go. You gotta let him.
But
go.
it's the same GM who picked him last year that's still there. The only people that left was the coach and now the quarterback.
All I'm saying, if you're gonna go back to back first round quarterback picks, both of those guys can't be there because it was different. Like right with RG3 and Kirk Cousins,
Yeah.
taken in the same draft. RG3 was number one.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins was like what, third or fourth round.
Fourth
pick?
round, I think. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's different. Hey, we ain't got no quarterbacks. Let's make sure we get one and then another guy that can back them up. This is not that. This looks like all the way dysfunction. You can't nobody make this make sense to me at all.
And I totally agree with you on that point, which makes me wonder how did that decision makes me wonder two things. One, how did that decision affect everybody else's draft mindset, like all the other franchises? And two, was this draft really like a underwhelming draft if Kyler Murray is the first overall pick?
No, and here's the thing. So people that watch this show know I don't really watch college football like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw the man's pro day. I saw the highlights. The way that ball come off that man's hand, special. Can't teach it. So for him to go number one, I feel it. And I think that we're in an era of breaking stereotypes and breaking molds. You know what I'm saying? I think because obviously when it comes to sports, we always want bigger, better, faster. But I think, and this is coming from a short guy, you know what I'm saying? Like shorter people that don't hit the stereotype, they have intangibles that you can't teach. You have heart. Sometimes you have more athletic ability. And when you look at Kyler Murray, man, who got a better arm than him in this draft? You can argue.
Maybe Haskins.
You can argue Haskins.
Yeah.
But the ball don't come off his hand the same way. It's Kyler just got a little bit more oomph.
Yeah.
Off like right off the fingertips. And then also, who's a better athlete at quarterback than Kyler Murray?
Nobody. Yeah,
You know what I'm
nobody.
saying? I would say I think he is more athletic than Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to be the second most athletic quarterback behind Michael Vick in the history to play the game up until this point. You know what I'm saying?
Really? So you have really high praises about Kyler.
Well, physically, outside of the height. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm not necessarily surprised or mad. Overall, again, it reeks of dysfunction because you went back-to-back number one quarterbacks, and you didn't trade your last year number one pick.
Until it was like damn near too late. And now all they got was what, like a second and a third or something like that. It wasn't even anything like for what you gave up to move, because they had to move up to get him too.
Yep.
And that's why I was like, that's why I'm like, with him being picked first overall in that dysfunction, like, will he even be successful? Larry Fitzgerald is the only shining star of that franchise right now, and he's on his way. He should have been out, to be honest. But I guess they probably paid him a lot of money. Like, look, we need a face to sell these tickets. And even though we got Kyler now, it's like we still need someone that people respect.
Well, here's the thing. First and foremost, I think it's Larry Fitzgerald's decision, right? Like, I want to come back, just like Vince Carter.
And he ain't gonna turn down no check either,
No, of
and
course.
especially in football.
Especially in football. And he's been really healthy to play a wide receiver.
He's kept his body in tremendous shape. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then he even has old man game at the wide receiver. Like, he's no longer outside the man, play
slot
inside.
man.
And he's big as hell.
Yeah.
How many slot corners can physically match? Not many. Like, you got to move people out of position to match up with Larry Fitzgerald now. So, look, the Cardinals, they're like, the clock is ticking now. This is the beginning of the end, or it could be the beginning of the future. But it every other decision from this point forward is going to be so scrutinized.
They have to be perfect.
They have to be perfect.
They have to be.
Because it's like, okay, if Kyler Murray is the guy, right? If he is the guy, there's certain things that he's going to need. First of all, how do you feel about that defense?
Before we even get to defense, the O-line.
That was the last thing. That was the last thing. I was going to get to that.
All right.
Let's talk about the defense first.
Because you know how I feel about offensive line.
Yes. But let's talk about the defense, right? Because I feel that Kyler Murray is like when I saw Lamar Jackson early in preseason last year.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I saw about his athletic limitation was he can't turn the corner like he did in college. He can't turn this corner and then make it into a 40-yard run. He's getting 10, 12, 15.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where in college he would break it out for more. Kyler, I think, is athletic enough that he's not a runner of the football like Lamar Jackson, right? He's more of a thrower of the football. But if he decides to run, I think he's the type of athlete to get 30, 40 yards. So I think that's the reason why I didn't even want to go and address the O-line first. I think the defense is more important right now because if you look at the majority of young quarterbacks that had success in this league, maybe they didn't have the offense, but they damn sure had a defense. You look at Ben Roethlisberger, you look at Russell Wilson, you know what I'm saying? Young quarterbacks that have success early in their career.
Dak,
you know what I'm saying? The defense wasn't exceptional, but it was good.
It was getting better.
He had a great O-line.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the strength of that Dallas Cowboys team once Dak got there, was that O-line. But the defense, I think, helps out young quarterbacks mainly because it gives you more opportunities at the ball. Plus, you're not playing with a big deficit. Oftentimes, you're playing with a lead because that defense is getting you back the ball and it's stopping the other offense.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about Arizona's defense?
I think it's horrendous outside of Pat Peterson. I think, and it's funny because there was a point in time, like, wasn't when Carson Palmer was with them, just a few years ago, they were like,
yeah,
they were like 11. They won 11.
Yeah,
they had a snout defense, and then David Johnson was running over the whole damn league, and you would think that this is like they're on to the next the next phase,
wave, the phase 2,
and then all of a sudden it crumbled. Once Carson Palmer retired,
I tell you this: once Bruce Arians left,
true.
Once Bruce Arians left,
that's what it was.
It just went sideways, you know. And the reason why I wanted to adjust the defense first, for all of the reasons I just said, but also what you just said, they're not that good, right? So now, let's look at the weapons. Outside of Larry, what they got?
They got David, who we don't know what we getting out of him anymore.
Yeah.
I thought he was
not elite.
He was supposed to be the top 5 back, and he was.
He was for a stretch. You know what I'm saying? And not even like seasons, like a stretch in a season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't had that longevity. So he has no weapons. He has no O-line. So that's why I'm saying, like, Arizona, every move they make is going to be so scrutinized because it's either the beginning of the end for this entire front office or it's going to be the beginning of the future. You know what I'm saying? And what better way to start with a franchise quarterback? You know, and I'm not saying that this guy is going to be Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying that he's going to be top 5 quarterback. I just know physically, outside of the height,
he's capable. Speaking of another franchise who's going to be under scrutiny and who is under scrutiny.
Oh, yeah. Yo, New York Giants.
The New York football Giants.
Yo, what?
Man, I was watching it. I was watching it live. And
why you giving that front office Duce like that, man? Them boys drinking over there, man.
I don't know. Because right now, I am trusting Dave Gettleman like he is a doctor doing surgery on me right now. Like, I have to trust him because he took the Carolina Panthers to a Super Bowl, right? And to me, since the Jake Delhomme years, I didn't think that was ever going to happen again, especially in the NFC.
But did he draft Cam?
Cam was what, 2010?
I don't even remember.
I don't know. I don't know if he was there for that. I know he was there for the Steve Smith stuff. So he might have drafted Cam.
Okay.
I think he did draft Cam. But nonetheless, that's where I'm mostly trusting is because I've seen his recent success. So him coming over and, he's known as a traditional, GM. Like, he likes to build from the inside out. Before he even gets the offensive gadget weapons and all that, he wants to make sure that D-line and O-line is solid. He want to have a back that's running down your throat. So going into this draft, I'm like, and I mentioned this earlier in the previous episodes, like, I don't think they're going for Haskins because I'm reading the reports and they're not really in love with him. But I hope they get him nonetheless because I see the talent in him. So the pick comes up, and I'm like, if they get Daniel motherfucking Jones, I'm going to be heated. I'm moving some furniture. They picked that man, and I was just in fumes. All my homies calling me up trying to talk shit, and I'm not answering none of the phone calls. I'm like, man, I don't want to hear this shit because I'm pissed. Like, Daniel Jones out of Duke? Like, not only is it –
Duke.
like, it's like What do you see in him? And then is it all because of Peyton Manning? Because I read reports that they were consulting with the Mannings, and it's just like, is this really just like nepotism at its finest? Like, just because I know you and you know him, like we gonna let you get through? So then I was like, I was going through like the 12 stages of grief, all in like a couple of nights. And then I slowly realized the more that I kept reading on him and the more that I kept reading on the possible, situation that Haskins was when he came into his interview, because I heard that he wasn't as buttoned up or as professional as they would have liked. Even though he might have been lower on their draft board, you still got to do the right thing. And I heard Daniel Jones was like the complete opposite. They say he's like a Eli Manning 2.0. Like, he knows exactly how to work the media. He says all the right things. As far as mechanically, he'll do everything that the coach asks, which is what you would like. So basically, he's like the button-up QB that every franchise wants.
But let me ask you this, though, Nick. If they didn't take him at 6, do you think he would have been there in the second round?
I think he would have been there at 17. I don't know about the second round.
Okay. Let's.
And for me, I don't really care about I'm not really worried about where the QB's drafted. It's more about, did you pick the right QB? That's all I care about.
But no, because whoa, Mr. Disrespect. You disrespected yourself right now.
How am I doing that?
You played yourself.
How?
Because you always talk about draft capital.
I do.
And number 6,
but
that's a lot of draft capital. All I'm saying is that I and this is me, and I'm not no GM. I'm not a draft expert when it comes to the NFL draft. I personally feel that in this draft, he would have been available early second round.
But when we talk about draft capital, positions have to take account to that, right? When you're talking about QB, you got to go get that boy. If you like him and you love him, you go get him wherever he at.
So you said,
because think about this. This is what happened. This is what Chicago did, right, with Mitch Trubisky. This is what the Rams did with Jared Goff. At those times, nobody liked those QBs as much as for the 1 and 2.
Goff.
You might have liked them, but nobody really liked them like that. To where like, damn, you picked him number 1 overall.
I hear a lot of pundits say, if that's your guy, go get him.
You got to.
If that's the guy you believe in, go get him. It's such a cliche.
Because
cop out.
No, because if they're successful, doesn't matter where they were drafted at. Do we care that Patrick Mahomes was drafted number 10 or number 12?
I think just people use it to help make themselves feel better or make the decision feel better.
But there's QBs right now that's balling that we don't care where they got drafted at.
So all right.
Like Deshaun Watson was a after top 10. Patrick Mahomes after top 10.
And we were shocked that Deshaun fell.
But it was a first round though.
I know. I'm just saying though. But we knew. We knew what he was capable of, and he still fell.
But I think the thing about Mahomes and Watson, even though I think there was some critiques about him, are the grades. So Daniel Jones wasn't graded to be a top 10 quarterback.
Draft capital.
So, and I think that's
But neither was Mitch.
No,
and Mitch took them to the divisional playoff.
That was a lot of coach.
No, Mitch got knocked out. He took him to a first round bye. That's what it was.
But here's the thing. that was a lot of smoke and mirrors. That is not sustainable.
How can you say that though?
Because
it's only been his second year.
But Mitch Trubisky has a lot of shortcomings. Mitch Trubisky's ceiling is not high.
There was a lot of coaching.
Exactly.
And
it was a lot of defense.
That's
a lot of Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Who won the Super Bowl and was Super Bowl MVP when the Eagles beat the Pats? Who won that? It was Nick Foles. He is not Aaron Rodgers. He is not Tom Brady in his prime. He is not Big Ben.
I feel you.
He is a backup QB who won a Super Bowl MVP. So you don't need to be that great.
But Nick Foles is better than Trubisky will ever be.
You can't say that. Because he's only in the he was only in the second or third year. You always talk about 3 to 5 when it comes to
that's basketball. And I've already clarified that.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you talk about 3 to 5 with basketball. With QBs, I in my opinion, you give them the same amount, especially with how long these QBs are playing now. They playing until their 40s. You 3 to 5. You don't know what a QB is after his second or third season.
No, but here's
we still figuring out what Carson Wentz is going to be.
Oh, we don't know what he is.
We don't know. We don't know if he's a
he just got to stay
Bowl.
healthy. It's just like, look, I put it to you like this: if you took away injuries, Sam Bradford would be top 5. The man had an arm, had presence. You touch him and he broke. That was his problem. But the thing with QBs is that QBs that are good QBs, they do things that jump off the page. What does Mitch Trubisky do that jumps off the page that you're like, oh wow?
He's probably in the Andy Dalton tier.
But
No, he way lower
and
than that. He's lower than
and
that.
you can't say that because you can't say that because he took them to a division. He won them games. Did he not win them games?
No, that defense and that coaching won them games. He only had like one or two exceptional games that season.
Whose fault was it? Whose fault was it that they lost to Philly in this past playoff game? Was it his or is it the defense?
I don't remember.
It was the defense because they gave up. They gave up that touchdown to Golden Tate. So he did his job. He got him down to the field goal range.
What was his numbers in that game?
They wasn't sexy, but he did his job.
What did he average for the season?
I don't know. I don't know his numbers like that. I'm not a Chicago fan.
All I'm saying is, right, like even somebody that is exceptional, right, they may not have the gaudy numbers. Russell Wilson. Did Russell Wilson have gaudy passing numbers or attempts or even completion? His completion percentage was nice. His efficiency was nice. Because as a top-tier quarterback, there's always something that you're going to do that's exceptional.
So when the Pats drafted Tom Brady in the 6th round,
Nobody knew that.
nobody knew he was going to be.
But look,
And then when the Oakland Raiders drafted Jamarcus Russell, number 1, nobody knew what he was going. Well, we expected him to be great, but we didn't think he was going to be that bad.
Hey, look.
You don't know.
No. And I'm not saying that there is a concise way to decide how or who is going to be a star quarterback in this league. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I even pick at 50% rate. I'm not saying that. But I know what my eyes tell me. And I'm typically right. I'm typically right in terms of evaluating talent and being able to see things that you cannot coach. Mitch Trubisky does not have anything special about his legs or about his arm. Now, I think he will be a career journeyman backup, just like Fitzmagic. He's gonna be like that.
No. First of all, I don't really care about talking about Mitch. We talking about Daniel Jones.
Okay.
My optimism for Daniel Jones is because he is saying and doing all the right things you want from a franchise QB now. He is playing his part. He's keeping his mouth shut. He wants to learn from Eli. He wants to learn from the organization.
I don't put a lot of stock in that stuff.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. Like you getting paid by the Giants right now, bruh.
I'm a Giant.
Because you're drinking that Kool-Aid like it got some crack in it.
I have to because this is
no,
the guy.
You don't.
This is the guy that I'm tied to now.
No,
this is the guy that we tied to.
No, did you see Joe Budden's reaction?
I saw it and I loved it. At the time, I loved it, but now we got to move on.
Oh, so now you buying?
You got to
move
bought
in.
You got to buy in.
Nah, you ain't got to buy in.
You're optimistic.
I'm just saying because right now
y'all need to drop another quarterback next year.
Has he shown? We've been drafting a quarterback the last 3 years as quiet as it's kept. But has he shown us anything that says that he's a horrible QB? No, he's not in the NFL. No, he's not. No, he's
wait.
Exactly.
So hold on, Ken. Let me ask you something, Nick. Let me ask you something. Is NCAA or professional football more difficult? Which one?
Obviously professional.
Do you have the same type of throwing lanes in college that you do in the NFL?
No, you do not.
Would you say somebody that completed right around 50% of his passes in college can go into the NFL and complete 60%?
No.
Would you say that the SEC is more difficult than the ACC in college football?
Yes.
And you think your guy is going to be successful?
I said I have no reason to doubt his success just yet.
You have reasons.
I have no.
That they're gonna.
No, he's just drinking that damn juice.
The reasons that y'all giving me have not been proven, so I don't have reasons.
His college career.
I'm
proven.
College is one thing. We saw Mitch in North Carolina do something, and then and he took the Chicago Bears to the divisional round.
Him.
Is he not the QB? Did he not make the throws?
Wait.
Did he not?
So what you're saying is who was the Ravens quarterback when they won the Super Bowl?
Trent Dilfer.
So you saying that Trent Dilfer was the leader of that squad and they won because of him?
No, I'm saying.
That is what you're saying.
My saying is that a guy like Mitch, who thought people questioned that from jump, he made the right plays to put them in a position to win. Trent Dilfer made the right plays to put them in the position they're in. When he threw that pass to Shannon Sharp, and Shannon Sharp got that touchdown, I forgot what game it was, but I think it was the only touchdown that they scored in that game. He did his
But
thing.
they are not taking their teams to the Super Bowl or to the playoffs.
Exactly. They're not the reasons why, and they're not
They're
the
not
leader.
the-
Wait, hold on. Because you were talking about leadership and all of these other quarterback intangibles and giving the quarterback a lot of credit for the success of a team. And a lot of times it's warranted. In that Ravens case, it was not. We know that the leader of that team was Ray Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that the reason or why that team was propelled to Super Bowl status and champions was because of the defense.
Yes.
Right? Because they had Hall of Famers, right? You had Ray Lewis, you had a young Terrell Suggs, you had Ed Reed, you had Chris McAllister, you had Deion Sanders, I want to say was on it.
We spent a whole season talking about Khalil Mack and his impact
Exactly.
on the Bears.
He did.
We weren't
He
talking
came
about
in-
Trubisky unless he had a good game.
Exactly. Khalil Mack came into that franchise and changed that franchise more than Trubisky could ever hope and pray for. So now getting back to your guy Jones, right? I'm looking over here at the whole first round, right? I'm looking at the first round. Obviously, we knew that Arizona was going to take Kyler Murray. We know San Francisco, they selected second. They have their quarterback. The Jets selected third. They have their quarterback. The Raiders selected fourth. They have a quarterback. Tampa Bay has a quarterback. The Giants don't.
Mhm.
Right? They take Daniel Jones. Okay, fine. Jags just got Nick Foles. The Lions have their quarterback. The Bills are in a very peculiar situation,
But
but
they got their guy.
but they got their
last
guy.
year.
It's- they
right.
went. They got. They
He's
got
not
last
necessarily
year.
cemented, but he
They
came
just
on.
got somebody.
Exactly. He
Yeah.
just got somebody. Big Ben ain't going nowhere. Your boy, the Red Rifle, ain't going nowhere. Aaron Rodgers ain't going nowhere. The Dolphins need a quarterback, but they just got somebody, didn't they?
They got Rosen.
traded for
They
Rosen.
traded for Rosen. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Falcons ain't going nowhere. The Redskins drafted Dwayne Haskins. Cam ain't going nowhere. Giants again. Minnesota ain't going nowhere. Tennessee ain't going nowhere. The Broncos are in flux at quarterback.
But you know what? You can stop there because
Yeah,
you're trying to get to the second round, right? Once you said Giants again, they could have picked him there.
And draft capital,
But-
Nick. They could have traded the 6th-round pick, got 2 or 3, or the 6th round. They could have traded the 6th pick, got 2 or 3 second or third-round picks.
But we need to
Got
move
your
on,
guy at
but-
number
Yeah,
17.
No, I get that, and again, I will eat crow if this blows up in my face. But right now, I'm optimistic,
You
so
know
I'm gonna
what?
go keep going.
You make too many sports decisions with your emotions.
No, I don't.
You got to be.
What
more,
emotion-
You gotta be more.
what do you want me to
objective.
say?
Because you're drinking the Giant.
What
juice.
do you want me to say? He hasn't played it down, so I don't know. I can't say if he's gonna be
But
great or
Nick,
he's gonna be a
Nick,
bust.
Nick,
He hasn't played yet.
But let me ask you something.
You want me to
Being
go off of
slick,
what?
though.
He is. He's being 1,000,000% slick. What does he do that jumps off the page to be picked at number 6 over your guy Dwayne Haskins? Because you was high on Dwayne Haskins.
I still love. I tweeted out that I'm still gonna root for Dwayne Haskins.
I feel you.
He does nothing for me. But I'm not a GM.
So
I'm
then
not.
why are you buying
I'm
in?
not a professional
But
GM
why are you
of a.
buying in then?
Because I am not I defer to the experts. I always defer to the experts. I go off
So then why the hell is you on this show?
because we talk because I'm trying to convince y'all to give him a chance.
Nah,
You're an
Because
expert.
no,
You're supposed to be an
I'm talking.
expert.
I'm listening to the expert. If he says he took the Carolina Panthers with Cam Newton to the Super Bowl.
But that's
Cam
Newton.
Newton took them to the Super Bowl.
He drafted Cam, so if it wasn't for him, Cam wouldn't be
and
in
did
that.
he
on
do a
that
good job of drafting people around Cam? No.
He did. He got him a defense. He got him a defense.
He
But
never
that's
put
it.
any weapons
And
around him.
and
Christian McCaffrey is the best weapon he done drafted.
And Cam was an easy pick. Let's not forget that.
I'm not
wasn't-
saying he wasn't, but you still got to
And
make the pick. He still made the pick.
But if it's easy, if it's a no-brainer, then come on. Like you can't give him credit for that.
Look, and that's what we were talking about, right? In other drafts, in certain drafts, you already know consensus number 1. It doesn't matter if we even have you're gonna take this guy regardless, right? Cam was that guy. This draft didn't have that, and the Giants. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is gonna be pure trash. All I'm saying is based off of what I seen, the highlights. I had to go back because I don't even know who the hell this guy
7
was.
picks in one game.
7 picks in one game. The man completed, I want to say it was like 52 or 53% of his collegiate passes. How? And it's not like the man got a cannon. It's not like he
His-
got a Mahomes.
The funny thing
His
is-
players was dropping a lot of balls though.
Okay, that's what they said about Josh Allen. But the funny thing is that Josh Rosen is still ranked better than all of the quarterbacks in this draft. All the quarterbacks last year were ranked better than any other rated better than any other quarterbacks in this year's draft.
Last year's draft
And
was
the-
overrated.
And the
QBs.
You tripping?
Last year QB draft class was way
tripping.
overrated.
You
Name
tripping.
me.
maybe you're not an expert.
I'm not- Last year QB draft was way overrated. I'm telling you right now. I think this draft class is gonna be just as good as last year's.
I don't know about that. I don't know about
But
that.
Maybe.
to get on to the guy that we passed over, the guy that I want the Giants to get, the Redskins got a lucky thing to fall in their lap.
They did.
Haskins fell all the way to 15.
Mm-hmm.
So now they don't have to pay him top 10 money, and they get a quarterback that can essentially just slide right in since Alex Smith is still hurt. We don't even know if he's going to come back. And outside of Alex Smith, they ain't got nobody else, to be honest. How do we feel about Haskins in Washington?
Anybody but the Redskins. I just after what they did to RG3, I'm just still somewhat salty. And I know it was Jay Gruden.
Yeah, but wait, hold on, Ken. Before you continue, a lot of RG3 was because of RG3. That wasn't Mike Shanahan. That wasn't
No,
Kyle
it
Shanahan.
wasn't.
Does he ain't know how to slide?
It was even beyond
RG3
that.
bears some responsibility,
lot.
but there was a lot of Game of Thrones shit going on in that organization.
No, it was.
You
Yeah.
talking about politics?
Yeah, to
Yeah,
get
it
Kirk
was.
Cousins to
It
play
was.
because Snyder and that's the thing I do like is that the owners are in love with him, like they were in love with RG3. But Jay Gruden preferred Kirk Cousins, and we saw that played out, right? So they didn't take another quarter because they took 2 that year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't take another this year. So Haskins is going to be the guy. They love him. As long as he does his job, they're going to support him. I'm just still salty, but I'm still root for the brother. I'm glad he went to an organization where they believe in him. That's important.
You want an organization to draft you because they love you. You don't want somebody just to draft you just because you fit the bill.
yeah, like if the
or they got to be convinced to
because
get
the
you.
Giants didn't love Haskins.
And that's why I'm cool with them passing on because that would have been a toxic situation for him, especially in New York. If all these stories come out that they don't even like you, they just picked you because you the
it's
best.
Racist.
Like,
They just don't want a black quarterback. But
anyway,
I-
I can't
I-
argue with that.
I also think it was somewhat unfair for them to say, "Oh, he's only played 1 year. He's only played 1 year, so we haven't seen him do it more than once." Last time I checked, so did Kyler.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler only had one full season under his belt. You know, Daniel Jones was a 3-year starter, right?
I think
Something
so.
like
Yeah.
that. So why are we not critiquing Kyler Murray the same way they
Well,
were
because
doing
they probably knew
Haskins?
they wasn't gonna get Kyler anyway. So
But
there's
I'm
no
just
point in
saying, like,
talking.
it just wasn't fair across the board. So I didn't like that. I didn't think it matched up. But I'm okay with it. I'm glad he went somewhere where, you know, he'll be loved. So, and he's hungry. And I just hope he just doesn't go out here and let us down and, you know, get the big head. So
Well, he was talking a lot of cash afterwards. He's like, yeah, all the people that passed on me.
I'm okay
Nigga,
with
we
that.
don't regret it.
And
Josh
that's how you
Rosen
should be.
did the same thing
Like,
last
we
year.
see how that happened.
Look at Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
That's a good look, man. Having a chip on your shoulder is not a bad thing in professional sports. And if you just have even that more motivation to do and excel,
I just hope he
All the
lives
power
up
to
to the
him.
press because I'm rooting for him. Like, because I mean, obviously he comes from Ohio State, so I'm gonna always check out the Ohio guys. But nonetheless, like I really liked his pedigree. I like that he's a black pocket passer, like pure in a sense. And I know that may rub some people the wrong way.
It
me
doesn't
saying
rub
that.
me the wrong way. It's just bullshit. How all of a sudden that's a bad thing now.
I understand that, but it's just like let's see if this is what all those white GMs in the past talked about what black people couldn't do. I want him to
And
excel.
then the one time there's one guy that stays in the pocket, they want him to run.
mm-hmm. Come on, you know they changed the goalpost, man.
Yeah, they
You
always
know-
want
you
to
know
go.
how they do.
Were there any winners and losers, like big ones, outside of the top 10?
I like San Fran. I like them getting Bosa. You know, because I think Jimmy G is gonna be all right. I'm not saying that he's gonna be, you know, MVP.
I think
or,
he's
you know,
overrated, too.
5,000-yard passer or anything like that. But I think that again, you know, when you have a young quarterback, because he's still a young quarterback, he don't have full seasons under his belt yet. The best way to kind of help them, to complement them, is with a defense. And you're talking about a guy that can get to the quarterback. You know, and he's not, you know, the most explosive defensive athlete or anything like that. But he knows how to do his job, and he does it, you know, at a very high clip. I think that's gonna help him. I also think the wide receiver that the Seahawks picked.
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
Yeah.
Metcalf.
Yeah, Metcalf.
If he stays healthy, I think he'll be a problem.
And here's the thing, because I saw Chris Carter break him down, and was saying that with all of that type of straight line speed, he's not good in change of direction. He doesn't get in and out of his breaks the way he needs to. But I think that year one, if he can be more so of a downfield receiver, because they don't have that. Like Russell Wilson.
I think Russell just like, I'm just happy to have a big body finally, a young big body.
And I think that if they can develop him, just his intangibles alone, that makes Seattle scary. Because think about what Russell Wilson is able to do literally for his entire career with no true real weapon out there that is like, yo, we got to take him out. We got to double team this guy. He can't get no balls thrown to him. Russell's never had
And
that.
who's the best QB to coach a young wide receiver? In my opinion, like, it's Russell Wilson. Like,
Yeah, no, I
especially
agree.
with all the stuff he could do. He like, look,
Yeah.
all you gotta do is just get open. I'm gonna
Do
give you the ball.
If I run or if I do this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could build that synergy. You know what I'm saying? And also a concern with him is his injuries. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if he can stay healthy. Let's see if he can develop. You know what I'm saying? Get that route tree right. If he can, that's gonna be a scary pick.
Mm-hmm.
I like I like the Steelers taking a chance on a linebacker.
They traded up to get him too.
Yeah. That somewhat surprised me. I don't. For some reason, I don't like trading up to get players, but when you kind of look at the draft, in retrospect, a lot of the picks that they trade never turn out to be anything anyway. The NFL draft is hard. Like, you pick a lot of guys that don't turn into anything.
I think you're lucky to get 2 to 3 guys that stick.
Out of 7 rounds.
Yeah.
So, but Ryan Shazier, they needed to trade
That was
him.
the biggest hole in their defense last year. You could
and
see.
They say this guy, man. They say this guy is the truth.
And I think it's because the last few drafts they've lost like players that they wanted to get that were in the range. They've lost them. Like, I think they were trying to get William Jackson, who the corner the Bengals picked up, and then they settled for Artie Burns or something like that. And then in previous drafts, they were like close but no cigar, and they just picked the second best player, and it hasn't worked to their benefit.
Yeah.
So them moving up is like, let's not be safe at all. Like, at the end of the day, these picks, like you said, it's a crapshoot. So like, if we get one, we get one. If not, at least we tried. You know
And
what I mean?
you get a guy that could literally change the state of your defense. So I think when you believe in the guy now, that statement makes sense. Like, here's a guy that we think could change everything about what we're doing and give us some stability that we lost with Ryan Shazier. Shout out to him because he was dancing with his wife at his wedding.
I'm just happy he can stand, to be honest.
And we saw him at Top Golf when I was out with B for when his boys came in from Detroit. So yeah, man, that's big for that brother. And because the Pittsburgh Steelers were linked to Greedy Williams. I didn't think they needed to draft another corner because they haven't been good at drafting corners. So I like that they went for a linebacker. And then the Browns ended up getting Greedy Williams, and he out there talking.
They going
a lot of
LSU
trash.
hard. He talking about some. We going to the Super Bowl. I'm like, all right,
Yeah, they talk a lot of shit.
boy.
NFL don't work that
they
way.
can't
we
get
saw
too
what
ahead
happened to
of
Philly.
themselves.
Remember
That's
when
what
Philly had
that's
that?
what I keep going back to. That Philly team where they had all the All Stars and they ain't do shit.
Mhm.
So we gonna see how this Browns team is.
You can't get too ahead of yourself. And then now, because it's not like you're out here playing with even a Matt Ryan or, a Cam Newton, like a quarterback that's established. Like, you're talking about a 1-year quarterback that now the whole NFL has tape on. Yeah, you got all of the weapons in the world. More weapons than damn near everybody. But these coordinators, and you have a rookie head coach.
Mhm.
Not even just a rookie coach.
You know what I'm saying? So don't get too ahead of yourself. Y'all talented, but you still got to take your lumps. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still have to forge that chemistry. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that they're just going to have it right off the bat like that. Now, I think that you're going to see a lot of ups and downs, but I think it's going to be between week 4 and week 7 that they need to start to stabilize, and they need to have an identity by then.
Yeah.
But they just can't get it too ahead of themselves. I love them. I think that they should win the division, but I don't think that the season is going to start off all dominant and all. I think they're going to have some struggles.
All right, well, that's our quick synopsis of the NFL draft. We can we'll go into it more towards like when training camp and stuff happens, as far as all the moves that are going to be made and people who going to get paid this summer, because there's a lot of conversation about that. But right now we focused on these NBA playoffs, and the first round is over with. But I wanted to do like how we did with the NFL playoffs when the team loses. What can we look forward to next season as far as the teams that lost and how they can improve? let's start off with the Boston Indy series. Now, the question I got for y'all is, can Indy be a serious contender in the East next season
No,
when they're
Nope.
fully healthy?
they don't really truly have a superstar. You know what I'm saying? And hey, look, and that's no disrespect to Oladipo, because he has proven to elevate his game to that next level. But that next level for him is not superstar. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
I think that his level at his ceiling is possibly borderline superstar, because
You
I
got a
would say
player that you can compare it to?
CJ McCollum. You put CJ by himself, maybe they make the playoffs, depending on which conference, right? If you put CJ by himself, if you swap out CJ for Oladipo, you get the same thing. You get somebody that makes the All-Star team. You get somebody that is in consideration for an All-NBA team, especially offensively in CJ's case. But can you get over the hump? Can you get over the star power? Can you overcome the guys that physically have more than you? I don't think,
So
not
then-
by himself.
So then what do they need?
They need a star.
They need a lot.
They need a lot?
The Pacers?
I
I don't think they need a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they need a lot.
They got Oladipo. Cool. So you check that box. I still haven't seen Miles Turner take a leap.
He hasn't.
He led the NBA in blocks.
That's great. But
That,
what
that's
else?
a jump. Okay. So this is Miles Turner's second year.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
I believe so. Yep.
So what's the phrase? Okay, and remember, coming into this season, I watched him work out in the summer.
I remember you saying it.
And he added that pull-up three-point game. It's not where it needs to be.
He's shooting it too much.
And you have to, a young player, one of the biggest things that they have to learn is shot selection, right? And you only get that through experience, going through the playoffs. They have the right coach. You know, Nate McMillan's a hell of a coach.
He is.
You know, so I think that Miles Turner will take another jump. Oladipo, hopefully he can, get back to the level he was at. What they're missing is either
They need a number two. They
they-
don't have a number two.
no, they have a number two.
Who?
They need a number one. Oladipo's a number two.
But right now he's
Their number one.
I understand.
But
So
he's a number two guy on a championship team. I think what they need is a superstar floor general.
they're not gonna get that.
No, I understand that.
So now let's build this team.
But
Let's
the
fix this
question,
team.
but the question is how do they improve?
Yes.
That's what they need.
Could they trade up to get John Morant?
It depends on where they land.
Yeah.
So if they get a top 4 pick, then yeah, because you could package some things. And
But is he a superstar?
Ja?
Is he gonna be a superstar? in the
Did you
league?
hear what the GOAT GM said?
I did.
Did you see that interview? He did an interview with, I forgot what's his name. Maybe Chris Hines, something like that. The black dude who do Yahoo Sports. He was like, "I'm the point guard." That's what John Morant said. And he was like, He said the things that I can do right now will there's only a few people who can do them. And it's gonna separate. I think he's trying to talk up his draft stock, but nonetheless,
course.
I think he has a lot of potential. And going with the
Yes.
Jerry West,
Yes.
with that branding on
I
it
mean, he's
Yes.
my favorite player in the draft, but
over Zion.
Yeah, I was about to say it was
yeah, over Zion, yeah.
You tripping, but okay.
Nah, you're a Zion fanatic, but give me Ja Morant.
No. Look. That's number 1 and number 2 hands down. Like
Yeah.
it's not even
Yeah,
close.
yeah. It's
And-
preference now.
And me being a point guard, definitely I respect John Morant's game, and I think that the only thing that's going to hold John Morant back, and I would say his first 3 years, is going to be physicality. Not
Mhm.
saying that athletically he can't compete, but he's small.
He gonna get
That's
bodied
why
a
He's
couple
gonna
times.
get by because even when if you go back and look at Dame when he first came in, Dame was Dame, day one.
Yep.
But the difference was you look at him
He
now,
bulked up.
up.
Everybody has to bulk
Got
up.
a
They have to
man weight.
bulk up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get pushed around, and I think that's the only thing that's gonna slow him down.
So to answer your question, no, I don't see them as a contender. They'll win games. Miles Turner need to take the lead. Sabonis need to take the lead, and they need to find another guy that's going to complement Oladipo.
Which is a point guard, and that's why I
So
said that.
Collinson's out because he's there. Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah.
He's back up.
He's a backup.
I know, and they need to get him out of there too.
Yeah, but they need.
Use Tyreek Evans, and that's what. Never mind.
Yeah, but you know what? Look, Tyreek Evans.
He is
career
what he
has
is.
been- yeah,
I
it's been
understand that, but they
derailed big
lost the
time.
game because Nate McMillan took him out when he had it going. But that's what I was going to say. But
I feel
that's way in the
But
past.
yeah,
It don't matter.
and that's not a long term solution, right? Like your core are long term solutions. Miles Turner, Oladipo is your core. They need another guy that can complement and make that
Mhm.
work in between them. And if they can get John Morant, I ain't worried about
And
that.
I think Oladipo can turn into a superstar.
I think so too.
Why
Because
y'all say
because
that?
when he was coming out the draft, they were already comparing him. I know they do all this all the time, but they were saying his comparisons was to D Wade,
Mhm.
and I always felt like I don't know why he was the guy who always got bounced around. Like
Mhm.
Orlando traded him, and then OKC traded. Like I
Orlando
always felt.
didn't know what they were doing.
Trust me, I know that. But I just felt like when he left OKC, I thought that was weird. But I was like, oh, it's because of Paul George. I'm like, okay, I guess. But when I'm seeing it in Indiana, it's like this is what I felt like I could have seen if someone just took the time to nurture this and really just like put a lot of faith in him. Because I think he does it on both ends too. I think defensively
does.
and
Wasn't,
offensively.
I don't know if it was a lot of faith in him. I think, according to him, his words, he learned from Westbrook,
He did.
and that's turning his career around.
Yep.
Playing with him that season,
I think it was mentality and tenacity. I think that was the
he
biggest
put on.
difference.
He added weight. He
Yep.
got more strong, more physical,
Yep.
and I think so. His mentality has changed, and that's
Mhm.
why I think he can be a superstar because he want to be that guy. And Shaquille challenged him to be the second best shooting guard in the league. I think he said best shooting guard, but he definitely told him and challenged him to be in that top 5 because he was like, I see it in you.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me ask y'all this, right? Because superstar players to me do things you can't teach. What is it that Oladipo does that just separates him?
I think he's not scared of the moment. And I've seen him, like, especially because there was definitely a couple Knicks games where he just stomped on our throats.
I
And it was-
give you that, but would you say that he's top 5 clutch?
I
He's
think
not?
his speed. I think he's definitely quick and very electric.
But is he top 5 fast?
I think so.
So
I think he can
so,
be.
So so
If
so
we go through it.
What's the-
Let's
what's
go
the-
through
can't
it.
be because
What's
Let's
the top?
go-
No,
let's-
no, let me.
speed is you are or you
I
not.
said can because I want you to go through it because
We'll
you about to
through
go
the
through
list.
it. So let's see
Russell
where-
Westbrook, he ain't faster than him.
Okay.
He ain't faster than John Wall.
Okay.
He ain't faster than Bron.
I was
he
talking
is.
about-
okay, now
Yes, he
okay,
is.
okay, all right.
We
give
know
you-
why, but he
yeah,
is
we
now.
give you Bron. We give you
All right.
Bron.
So that's 2.
That's 2. Hold on,
You want me to give you some names?
yeah, give me
Because
some.
he
Um,
ain't got 3 more.
Just not off the top.
You talking about quickness? What about?
Ben Simmons. You want to throw him in there?
Yeah, Ben Simmons faster than him. End to end, Ben Simmons faster than him. When Ben Simmons want to turn on them jets,
All right. So
I
2
give
more.
you Oladipo's quicker. Like he changed the direction, but we talking like straight line speed. He's not. Let me see. Let me go through here.
I can't even think of any.
Giannis just because he's long.
All right, now
No,
that's something like now
no,
you picking
no,
out straws.
no,
Now you
yeah.
yeah. I knew he always got a hot 2, and then it ties off after that. Nonetheless, I think Oladipo has potential to be a lot better than what people expect him to be. I think he can be.
Kemba.
I don't know, man.
Kemba's-
I think they neck and neck.
Kemba's quick. You talking about
think they neck
speed?
and
Yeah,
neck.
okay.
I don't think Kemba's fast. I think he's quick.
He's quick.
So I was saying like Kyrie isn't.
Donovan Mitchell.
I think he's faster than D Mitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue that one. I won't argue that one.
But anyway, we
Yeah.
need to move on. But
Yeah.
I think he has potential to be there because it's gonna be
Okay.
wide open when LeBron's gone.
What about this Philly Nets series? Can the Nets get a top free agent this summer?
Yes. Yes.
You want to go there.
Yeah.
And
Why is that?
Talent and salary cap
Coaching?
space and coaching.
Who's their head coach again?
Kenny Atkinson.
Kenny. Okay.
And he was coaching his ass off.
No, he did.
Yeah,
he
he
did.
coached his ass
If
off.
it wasn't for his team being so green, he probably could have.
Oh,
He could have took that series a lot longer.
No. This was the best thing to happen for them.
Mhm.
To get their ass whooped how they got their ass whooped. They needed it. Karis LeVert needed it. D'Angelo Russell needed it. Because think about this, right? Like D'Angelo Russell had good games. D'Angelo Russell in stretches dominated the game. You know what I'm saying? That's only gonna improve his confidence going into next season. And if they can get a top tier or 2 top tier free agents, that's a scary squad because you have everything you want.
They got
You got rim protection.
Yep.
You got shooting.
Got a bench.
You got a bench. You got dribble penetration. You got playmaking. The only thing they are lacking is star power. And D'Angelo Russell is on his way to become a star.
I think he's
Karis
there
Le-
now.
But he's
think
on.
he's, like,
on
right
the cusp.
there.
Yeah, he's on. He's
You know
right
how I
on the
knew he
cusp.
was there when he got caught with weed at the damn airport. Look, that's the only superstars do that.
because he has he has the attitude, has the mentality. He's not afraid of the moment.
Nope.
When he came in the
Nope.
league, whenever he would hit big
Ice in
shot,
my veins.
there you go.
Ice in my veins.
There you go.
He already got a signature, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
dancing for 2K. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He unique.
So he ready. I'm afraid that I think it needs to be his team, and they need to build around him.
What,
Leave
What if he gets
Kyrie
that
where
su-
he
but if
at,
he
oh,
get-
yeah, 1,000.
No, I don't. I think that'd be
1,000.
horrible for
and
Kyrie.
leave KD where he at.
No,
I don't know. I don't agree with you on that one.
KD is complementary to D'Angelo Russell's game. So you know how we were just talking about Indiana?
Mhm.
Imagine Indiana with D'Angelo Russell. That's a championship contender.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
And
what they
also,
need.
and also,
That's what they
KD's
need. I
used to
know.
playing with a superstar point guard or an
Mhm.
all-star point guard.
Mhm.
So that would work well with him. Portland OKC series.
OKC need a lot of help.
Is Westbrook overrated or has his style of play
Westbrook
is out?
now
Is it
overrated.
outdated?
He's a target now. His style of play is like others.
Is it outdated?
No. They just need. Russell's doing what he has to do because he has to, and
We say that, but does he? Like, what do you mean?
Yes.
What do you mean? Are you talking about the triple doubles? Or are you talking about
I'm talking
his-
about when KD left, he was the sole provider.
yes?
He had to go out, hunt the meat, come back, gut it, cook it,
He the single mama.
serve it up. He was all of that. And then he went to the club, met somebody, brought old Paul George back. He was taking care of some responsibilities, but Westbrook still had to go out there, and he was okay with it for a while
But the
until
man
Paul George started overstepping his bounds. Then he had to go.
The man he brought back he ain't providing.
He would provide for a little bit, then he got comfortable. But so I think some of that is still there. He deferred a lot. Paul George got hurt. He kind of reverted back to his old ways. But I think when you look at the makeup of that team, Jeremy Grant is not a 3. He's not the third piece. He has to be at least 4th or 5th.
Mhm.
You know,
Love his development though. Love
Yeah,
like, from
but
where
I
he came
think-
from to now. Like, I love it.
yeah. But you know, he's more Aminu than anything else. But that roster is just poorly constructed. They got to go get some more pieces. Sam Presti, you guys are giving him a pass. He put this team together
But
poorly.
he's done the best job. And my thing is more of like Sam Presti has to realize this coach is not going to take us to the promised land.
That's also part of his job.
We
too,
need to.
He-
He doesn't. Don't fire him, Presti. Keep
mean,
him.
if-
He's
if-
done the best job anybody ever can do.
Okay, so I'll have to go look and see who he could have picked who's left on who he could have picked versus who he picked in terms of the team that he drafted. But right now, man, it's just not. They have no shooting, absolutely none,
But
and no bench.
But they're consistent playoff teams, which means that they're
Because-
always
because
picking.
you have a
Russ and
superstar.
Paul George.
Exactly. When you have a superstar, you're going to make it to the playoffs.
No, I'm just saying like for his picks, like he's picking like past 12.
No,
so
no, of
I
course,
don't know
of
what
course,
kind
of
of value
course.
you're gonna get.
No, but here's the thing. It's not even just the draft picks. It's also the salary. So I'm looking at the salaries. I had to pull it up because that's what's going to hinder them from actually making the moves that they need to make to build this roster out. So let me just mention like their top like 5 guys, right? Russell Westbrook, obviously $35.6 million a year.
Woo.
Right? Paul George, $30.5 million a year. Steven Adams, 24.1. Dennis Schroeder, 15.5. Andre Roberson, 10 million. Jeremy Grant, 8.6. Everybody else is 5 million or less, right? So when we look at that, Dennis Schroeder doesn't have real trade value. He got traded there, right? And he's a overpaid backup, but for that team, he's
solid-
worth it.
He's worth it.
He's
yes.
worth it to that team.
Mhm.
What other team is going to pay $15 million for a backup? Nobody, right? You look at Andre Roberson. The man hasn't played literally in 2 years.
What happened? I thought I could have sworn we were just waiting
it
for him to
was his
get
leg or
healthy,
something.
and now
Yeah,
it's just,
no, because it was like something like super serious. It was like I couldn't even tell you, but it was like some super serious. So he's out. But the reason why they love him is what? Defense. He can't shoot no 3 ball. The man can't barely shoot a free throw.
he can't even get on the court. So
He can't even get in the court for 2 years, and you paying this man, right? Jeremy Grant, like we said, I've always loved Jeremy Grant ever since he was drafted by the Sixers. I saw this being his ceiling. Never thought he was going to be an all-star, but I thought he was that championship role player.
Yeah.
Guy that can switch on anybody, can guard a 5, can guard a 1, can hit a 3 when you need him to, can make the deflection when you need him to. You know what I'm saying? Can have a big game in the series if you need him to, but you know, he's limited. He's not
Yeah.
he's not a championship guy. Or he's not an all-star. He's the fourth or fifth or sixth best guy. He's like he's your like Iguodala.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they need shooting. And you know, to answer your question, if Westbrook is overrated, if his style of play has passed him by, it hasn't. Again, it doesn't matter what makes you special, is how special are you at it, right? And Russell Westbrook, at what makes him special, his energy, his tenacity, the ability to get to the basket, you have to complement that. Paul George, KD, those guys are perfect complements to Russell Westbrook's game. The rest of that roster is not. Then Schroeder is, Jeremy Grant is, right? Steven Adams, bro, you paying this man $24.1 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
You gotta get more shooting. You gotta get spot up shooters. That's what Russell Westbrook needs. That's how you build and complement his skill set. What would you say Russell Westbrook's best ability is?
Ability, I would say passing.
Passing. Ken?
I would say his ability to get to the rack.
I would agree with Ken. His ability to get from here to here, you can't stop me, right? But what happens when you draw in 2-3 defenders and I kick it out to Roberson? What happens when I kick it out to Raymond Felton, Patrick Peterson? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't Paul George, it ain't going in.
And the reason why I say passing is because, like, I've seen him drive to the hole but miss a layup. But I trust his decision making. If there's an open guy, he'll get the ball to him. Now, that's where I agree with you as far as the shooting, the lack of shooting that they have on that roster. I think outside of Paul George and Terrence Ferguson, that's about it as far as a consistent three-point shooter. So if they got more,
Ferguson ain't. He ain't.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the best. It's a huge drop off after Paul George. So if you got more shooters like a JJ Redick or a Ersan Ilyasova, somebody that
Let me pause you real quick, 'cause
that
we
would go
we
up
got
even
some
higher.
Breaking news: Raptors blow out Philly by 36, 125-89. Embiid 8 turnovers.
Saw that coming.
we gonna get to Philly. Trust me. So so we already talked about Portland, OKC, Golden State, LA Clippers. Can the Clippers get Kawhi and
They can.
and KD?
That's all they need. You know, they're very similar to Brooklyn, right? Like, you have depth, you have a whole bunch of skill sets.
Even better than Brooklyn, the situation.
No, even better. Yeah, because they are a Swiss Army knife team. You know what I'm saying? You got Montrezl Harrell, Mr. Energy Guy, rim rocker, lob, big blocks, big rebounds. You got Pat Bev, Mr. I get under everybody's skin. I'm going to play defense. I'm going to hit a couple of open shots, and I'm going to talk hella shit in your face. They got Danilo Gallinari, which is the preeminent 3-4 guy that can handle the rock, play, make, hit an open three, shoot off the dribble, create his own shot, create for others.
And you got Lou Will, who'll take the
professional
shot,
professional scorer.
take your shot, and take your girl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what I'm saying?
That's about it.
Who else is on that? The two rookies that they got from Philly, Shamet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's only gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? Catch and shooter, can also handle the rock, play, make.
And they took the Lakers big man.
Oh yeah,
Zubac, ain't it?
Zubac. You know, they have everything but the stars.
For me, it's even more than that. They have a phenomenal owner who's willing to pay anybody as much money to bring him over here. They got the GOAT GM,
GM.
That's all you need to say.
Yep.
And then they got the head coach with it. So it's just like literally all they're missing
pre-made.
is a superstar.
It's
If you
pre-made.
put a superstar,
they
in
don't
there-
have the cherry on top. The whole cake, look, man, they done put it in the oven for the right amount of time. They done cooked it for the right amount of time. You know what I'm saying? The chef is on point. You pay him good money. You know what I'm saying? The whipped cream and whatever frosting you put on tastes amazing, but we ain't got that cherry. And that's all they missing. That's all they missing.
Well,
And
they
you
ain't
know
gonna get him.
You tripping. And here's the thing.
Okay.
I'll go as far as to say this. They don't even need two of them.
they just need one.
They just need one.
One for what?
Kawhi or KD.
To do what?
To compete.
Is that winning the title or is that just competing?
To win a title.
They only need one.
They only need
I
one.
disagree with you on that.
You know why?
Why? Because everything getting blown up after the
No.
season?
Well, not even that. Lou Will's your second guy. If you only get one of those guys,
Can you trust with Lou Will
Yes.
Yeah.
in the
Yes.
fourth?
Yes.
There was some. He was a little shaky in the fourth. So
Because
Did
there's a
you-
lot of pressure because he's not a number one guy, and
he
was
won
their
them some
number one
games
guy.
too. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, come on now.
But if you get Kawhi or KD and you get that consistently off the bench, like because he's not gonna be no starter. He's a career six man. He
Nope.
accepted it. He know what his role is. I can get 30. It don't matter, right? So with him, if you get a guy that can get 30 every night, 25 every night, and he comes in and chips in 15 to 30,
And then you got the
Bruh.
rookie Shai Gills Alexander, who's still
Yes.
developing, so he's on this 3 to 5 trajectory. You got Shamet, who's a knockdown shooter.
knockdown.
So yeah, I
they
think
just need one. They don't need both. But if
Yeah.
they get both,
if they get
Oh,
buff,
it's
it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Which-
Montrezl Harrell.
Which one would you rather have if you could only get one?
KD.
KD.
I like Kawhi.
I like Kawhi. I'm no disrespect.
I like.
KD.
disrespect.
Give me KD.
We got to start showing Kawhi some love. I like Kawhi. He does it on
Look,
both
look,
ends tremendously.
You know what's the difference? He ain't 7 feet. That's.
I was gonna say the cornrows.
And he's not unstoppable. KD is unstoppable.
I don't know. Kawhi.
No.
Kawhi can.
Kawhi
he can get a
is
bucket.
unstoppable,
He's a
but
walking
KD
bucket.
Offensively?
Yes,
He's a
but
walking bucket.
But KD is more unstoppable than Kawhi offensively. They're both unstoppable. Like they do whatever they want. But
I don't think
but KD
Kawhi
is
can do
more.
whatever.
You got to be
he
watching
wants.
these games.
Oh,
He's a
I'm watching
walking.
the games.
He's
man.
averaging.
Wait,
His
so
averages are comparable
you-
to KD.
You knew round these parts, ain't that how they say it in the Westerns? I've been big on Kawhi since
You ain't
since
you
day
ain't acting
one.
like it.
No, I mean I keep it all the way real, man. Like I'm what did he say? Like we don't fall in love, man. We objective, like we experts. So I just got to call it like. But if I had to pick, and maybe the way you worded it is more appropriate, but KD, man, like that dude. We're not talking about Kawhi being the second best player in the NBA.
Some people are still.
Yeah, some people are.
I don't who.
Just because it ain't chewing. I
You-
think it's a lot closer than what we think. I mean I will admit that I will still say KD's the better player between the two, but as far as for this specific team, I think Kawhi would fit a lot better just for the fact that he seems like he's a Doc kind of guy.
He's more of a system guy
Yeah.
than KD. KD can break what you want to do and still be successful. Kawhi's gonna be the most successful doing what you want to do.
And maybe Kawhi's less flashy, but
He
KD,
is.
man, KD.
Especially for LA.
And here's the thing. My biggest question, and everybody that watches this program,
I know who he is.
I've always said it. I love Kawhi, but I always question, can he do it outside of the Spurs system? Goddamn, he could do it outside of the Spurs system.
Yeah, but he got to give us more than just a damn weird ass laugh.
You just don't like the personality. You just want the whole package. Come on.
He don't have the superstar personality. That's what's messing with you.
He want a bad chick with a good personality. He just
I
like,
need somebody be like, you know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
Yeah, he's not like that.
he let his game let you
Yep,
tell you
yep.
who he is. All right, the Toronto Orlando series. Will the Magic build upon this year's success?
No.
Is that it? We done.
Yeah.
Move on.
Look. First of all, they drafted Mo Bamba.
Yep.
Right? The owner is talking about re-signing Vucevic. They should have traded.
They don't know what
him.
the hell they doing,
They don't
Nick.
know what the hell they're
Just
doing.
go look at the last couple of years, last 5
You
years.
know, I totally agree with y'all. And it's these teams like them and the Suns that make me realize, why does Seattle not have a basketball team?
No. Look, first of all,
They need to
first of all,
move one of them because they don't know what the hell they're
The
doing.
Suns in the last 3 years have drafted well.
Yeah, they're
They-
starting
they-
to get around.
Organizationally, though, I'm talking about organizational
of course.
vision.
Yeah, Robert Sarver, he's out there. However, in the last 3 years, I can give the Suns a lot of props. They just don't have everything.
But they're wasting talent just like Orlando, in my opinion.
But
No.
they're making the right moves to get there. Let's not focus on the Suns. Let's talk about the
Yeah,
Magic.
Let's talk about Orlando.
The Magic has no direction.
No,
Yeah, okay.
They draft players at
Just
the
'cause.
same position just cause.
just cause.
Just cause they're there.
Yep,
They was listening too much Shaq West during the draft.
bruh.
That was-
Look. And then remember who else they drafted like the year before.
They had
the dude from Florida State. I can't think of his name. Super long too.
Isaac.
Yep, Jonathan Isaac.
Isaac.
Jonathan Isaac. So you talking about this guy plays 3-4.
Mhm.
Then you draft Mo Bamba that plays 4-5, and then you have Aaron Gordon that plays 4-5, and you have Vucevic that's a 5. Where is your shooting 3? Where is your point guard? Because remember they drafted Elfrid Payton.
Elfrid Payton.
You liked Elfrid, I didn't.
Yeah.
They have DJ Augusty right. Who's your two? You had Oladipo, now you got nobody. You also have Mario Hazonia. Now you ain't got nobody. What are you doing?
And they did develop Hazonia.
They did it because now he's looking better in New
He's
York.
shown he got game. He just needs an opportunity.
Exactly. And like you said, they lack direction because the league is going this way and they're going way that way. They got literally four guys 6'10" or over that Aaron Gordon is just now hitting outside jumpers. Jonathan Isaac is very shaky. Mo Bamba, we know he DeAndre Jordan. Outside of 5 feet, what is he?
We don't know what he is.
And
He got hurt.
Vucevic is the most talented.
23, 10, and 4 or something like that.
Who, Vucevic? Yeah, all-star. So my thing is this, right? And Ken, you know I always preach this. I got me a big man. What do I need? I need me a point guard or a guard. Yeah, I need a 1 or a 2. Because that's the only way you compliment Vucevic. That's the only way you compliment. You talk about a 2010 guy consistently on, even if he was on a good team, his game it don't matter because you can't stop him. The man is super versatile. It's not like he's dominating you with athletic ability. He's dominating you with skill. Go get that man a guard, man. Like you said, they just lack direction. I don't understand what they want to do. Didn't they fire Frank Vogel? They hired Frank Vogel. He was there a year or two, then you let him go. They're extremely frustrating. You know why? Because it's not like they are devoid of talent. Aaron Gordon, I've been said he is Blake Griffin 2.0, and you're starting to see it. But how can you even develop Mo and Jonathan Isaac when you have legit guys at the 4 and the 5? How?
Yeah. So no.
They're frustrated, man.
Moving on, Milwaukee-Detroit series. I wanted to ask B this, but what needs to happen to get the Pistons back on track?
Well, hopefully he'll step in here.
Yeah,
We'll let him take care of that.
And we'll come back to it.
But shout out to Dwayne Casey, man, for
Yes.
getting them to the playoffs, which was the organizational goal. That's all they wanted to do was get to the playoffs.
And he did what they needed to do.
So since we went there, and this is a little bit off topic, but on topic, do you think coaches should only be coaches, or should you give them the GM powers? Because a lot of them, think about it. Doc had it. The GM powers got taken away. Now he's successful as a coach. You look at Stan Van Gundy, got let go. You look at, there was another person, Thibs got let go. You know what I'm saying? So
It's too many
coaches,
hats.
Yeah, do coaches just need to be coaches?
To me, the only one that can do it is Pop.
But even Pop has a GM.
Yeah, and
I'm saying, but like, and
I
that's the
think he
closest.
had-
That's
I
what I'm
think he
saying.
has a
I think he let it go.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And I guess because it may be because it got too stressful. It's like it's hard enough to coach and be great at that, let alone to try to do the management and make the right moves and the trades and all that. And you can see how it's to the detriment to the team, and that's even more pressure on you as a coach because like now you're getting yelled at from both sides, like upstairs and downstairs. So yeah, I'd rather just focus on be a great coach. If you're a great coach, then we can talk. Until then, nah.
Yeah. But yeah, big major shout out to Dwayne Casey. He took literally the same squad and made the playoffs.
Yes.
Where, Stan Van couldn't. And I think, also that lends a lot to what Shaq said in the early days of Miami. Stan, in the heat of the moment, he's more of a nagger than a leader. Because think about everywhere he's gone.
He's a Van Gundy at the end of the day.
But Jeff is better than Stan. I've always liked Jeff better than Stan. Stan doesn't. Again, this is coming from Shaq and some other players, not coming from me. I don't know the man like that, but he doesn't give you that inspiration you need to go out there and play hard. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the Pistons, 2 names on that roster stick out like sore thumbs to me.
Bad or good?
Bad. Stanley Johnson and Reggie Jackson.
I thought they moved Stanley Johnson.
They did.
Yeah.
I think they moved to
I thought it was in Milwaukee, but it may not be Milwaukee. But yeah, Reggie Jackson. Just stick with Reggie Jackson.
Okay, fine.
I'll do my
Reggie
research.
Jackson. This is the case of being the number 2, thinking you could be number 1. You become number 1, and then you are really not even a number 2.
damn.
Yeah, he's in New Orleans.
Oh, okay. That's a
Stanley
good move for
Johnson.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm happy for Stanley. But what did Detroit get back?
Let's see.
Either way, Reggie Jackson. I'll put it to you like this. When the Clippers had their best years outside of this year, what was their big 3?
during their best years,
Mm-hmm.
it was Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre.
So DeAndre can be Andre Drummond. Blake Griffin's Blake Griffin, and this is a better version of Blake. Obviously, not the same athlete, but better skillfully.
Yes.
They're missing the point guard. For them to take the next step, which is to be a higher seed, to actually push, for more contention, better contention, it's Reggie Jackson. He's the weak link on that team. I like the fact that Dwayne Casey didn't start the white boy. I can't think of his damn name. We talked about him too.
Not Laura, but
One B was mad that they drafted. Is it Connaughton?
no,
I forget. I don't know his name.
no, because Luke Kennard.
Luke
Luke
Kennard.
No, wait, is
Yeah,
it Luke
Luke
Kennard?
Kennard. Luke
Yeah.
Kennard, the lefty. So
Damn.
so I like the fact that Dwayne Casey ain't start him, and Luke Kennard was a little mad about that because again, you want players with chips on their shoulder, goals that they know they can reach, but that maybe they're not there yet.
Mhm.
I like Luke Kennard now. He's finally starting to figure it out.
Finding this JJ Redick game.
So, 1,000%.
Yep.
1,000%. So now you have that floor spacer that can play 2-3 because he has more size than JJ. Their missing link is a point. And I love Ish Smith, but Ish is
Ain't
a
it?
backup.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Ish can come in and start some games due to injury
Mhm.
because he has that play. He has elite playmaking. Elite. He's elite when it comes to playing, but he doesn't do anything else. Liability on defense. Even though he feisty, but he's not no lockdown defense. He ain't no Pat Bev.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially in the East when you're going against Ben Simmons, Kyrie, like these are point guards. Like
Yeah.
you gotta
other
you
world.
gotta put up some type of
D'Angelo
fight.
Russell, you got to put him up there now.
Yeah,
You know what
Russell.
I'm saying? So Ish Smith at best is a backup. They are missing that starting point guard. If they can get, imagine D'Angelo Russell there.
Mm.
If they can get a starting point guard, and I'm not even talking like all-star, superstar, a starting point guard. That's what they need. You know what I'm saying? I think that takes them to the next level. They get a superstar point guard. You're talking about top 3, top 4 in the East.
Denver San Antonio series. Can the Spurs really compete ever again? That's my main question. And then on top of that, it was just more praise to Pop for even taking Denver to Game 7, which I think I said it probably would go, but I had the Spurs coming out. But even though, like, that's the number 2 seed going against the number 7. You know what I mean? Like, that's still a lot.
No, because that was all Pop. And you saw why it was all Pop. Because in those critical moments, they didn't have the same championship moxie that the Tim Duncans, the Ginobilis, and the Tony Parkers of the world had. And in their most critical moment, Pop is out here calling for foul him, and nobody's on the same page. And that's
Yeah.
not on Pop.
That's not.
Pop was trying to do what Pop is.
He damn
supposed to do.
near got on the court
Damn
and
near got on
started
the court.
balling with
You know
him.
what I'm saying? But DeMar DeRozan
Mm.
is not a championship level player.
And neither is
Neither is Lamar. But we've been calling.
Yeah,
Lamar.
I knew he was a solid
just
number
can't-
2,
Who?
LaMarcus.
Nah.
Nah, not even.
He's not a solid number 2.
No, because he's in Kyle Lowry territory. He's not as bad as Kyle Lowry.
I was about to
Because-
say, that's-
because,
that's-
because,
that's-
no, because LaMarcus will give you 2 good games in a series.
he'll be a good Chris Bosh.
Yeah, he's below Chris Bosh.
He below Bosh.
He below
Kevin
Bosh.
Love.
He better than Love. Give him more love than that. Come on.
I don't know. Love has shown more heart than LA.
He's shown more heart, but LaMarcus has had better games in playoff series than Caleb.
I've seen more from
I've
LaMarcus
seen
in
more from
playoffs.
LaMarcus in the playoffs than Caleb. But
You said DeMar DeRozan. He's not a real
he's not
winner.
a championship player. He's not. I love him, but honestly, he's a third.
I'm
best
done
player
with
on the
DeMar.
championship.
I was gonna say it sounds like y'all are defining instead of them being 1 and 2, they're like 2,
3
3,
and 4. They're like
Wait.
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
3
That
and
bad?
4. DeMar
They
is
took
a-
Denver to 7 though. You know what I'm saying? That can't be just.
That's Pop.
Yeah, that
That's
don't amount
Pop.
for much, bro.
That's
And Denver
Pop.
was first time in the playoffs. They still learning, filling things out.
I thought this was their 2nd year in a row.
Nah, they didn't make it last year.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, because they didn't beat
Yeah,
the Minnesota.
So yeah, a lot of this was new to them. Like you get, like Jokic, I get, but Jamal Murray,
Yeah.
you let Jamal
But
Murray.
look,
Murray's actually balling though.
I know
He
he can
is,
play,
he is.
but it's his first time being in the playoffs,
Yep.
and he's shown more heart than
Yep.
DeMar
Yep.
DeRozan.
Yep. And the other thing too is DeJounte Murray. He was hurt, and I think that his game isn't like, oh yeah, if he was there, automatically they win.
Right.
But
The factors.
he is a factor. You talking about 6'7", almost 6'8",
I
super
love
long,
him.
dumb, athletic.
Already.
Don't have no jumper,
Nothing.
but obviously is coming. But the fact that you have another guy that can penetrate, obviously already understands pop. He's under that tutelage. He getting the Tony Parker early treatment.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna develop. I think he's gonna be one of the better point guards. I don't know if he'll crack that top 10 list, but he's always gonna be right there. You know, I think he's always gonna be in that conversation. And I think that in this series, Jamal Murray would have had issues with him with DeJounte guarding him. You know what I'm saying? That length, that athletic ability.
Mhm.
I think it is a factor. I'm not saying that that's what would have won them this series, but I at this point in where San Antonio is as a franchise, I don't know how, because they've done as best as they could transitioning away from the big three era.
Right.
I don't know how else you get better.
Because they don't attract free agents,
No.
even though they have the best coach in the league,
Mhm.
arguably of all time, and they're proven winners too. Like if you are
22
any
straight seasons in the playoffs.
any
Oh, no, 22 straight seasons of 50-plus wins. That's ridiculous.
and if you're just even like a competent star like DeMar DeRozan is, he'll get you to like at least touching
First
second
round.
round, maybe even to the Western Conference Finals. So I when I ask this question is because like as great
DeMar's
as Pop,
not a star.
he's an
He's a
all-star.
star.
He's an all-star. So he's
Tw-
that's
20
guarantee a star.
Yeah, 20. Look, he's 25-5.
My thing is though with Pop as great as he is, can he get the Spurs back to being contenders again?
I mean, you need the players, and
Yeah.
it's all gonna.
Will
depend
that
on the
happen
draft.
for him?
Nope.
Depends on the quality and where they draft, and it kind of goes back to what you're saying. You're making the playoffs, but you get into what you call it playoff purgatory.
Yeah, I put it to you like this. You know a lot of the rumors about Mr. LeBron James. Somehow, some way,
Did y'all watch that episode of The Shop?
Mm-mm.
I seen highlights. I saw Lonzo talking.
Did you hear what LeBron said about the Magic situation?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you gotta watch that.
Okay.
Because I thought that's where you were going with this.
Okay, no. So I haven't seen it. I wasn't going there. However, if somehow, some way, Pop and the Spurs can pull off a LeBron James trade, that's the only way Pop wins another championship. That's the only way. There's no other way.
Will that
Pop
be
wins.
the 3-team trade to get the Lakers to get AD? Incorporate San Antonio in the mix, move LeBron around, move some other
No,
assets.
because obviously, if the Lakers are in the market for AD, it's to pair him up with LeBron. You're not going to trade away LeBron to get AD because you're basically in the same situation. So I don't see that happening.
And I agree with that because I think Papa retired first, so I think he's on his last.
Even if he can get LeBron.
No.
No, I'm
he
just
gets
saying.
LeBron, he gonna coach.
No, yeah, he'll coach, but if that's like a wish
Fairy
and a
tale.
prayer, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fairy tale. So that's that Bill Simmons shit.
Not likely. But
Yeah.
hopefully. it
Yeah.
happens.
What
Oh
we would
my
like
God.
to happen, the
Yeah.
trade machine,
Yeah.
because I would love to see that. But I think he does like DeJounte Murray. I think he would like to see what he can do with him, but he knows that L.A. and DeMarcus got to go because when Derek White and Brian Forbes are showing more heart
Mm-hmm.
than them
Mm-hmm.
with less talent,
Then he rather say,
That's a
I'd rather
problem.
just do it with other people.
that's a problem.
Mhm.
Than
So
deal with y'all.
And did you know, I think it's also interesting the comments that Dame made during the playoffs regarding LaMarcus Aldridge. You know, he basically said that, we'll play again on the same squad. So you never know.
interesting.
Maybe LaMarcus goes back to Portland.
He need to.
Lower money.
All right, so that's our first round wrap up for those teams. Now on to the second round. We are going into game 5 of the Boston-Milwaukee series. What happened to Boston? They came out hot game 1. My prediction was the Bucks in 6, but I was saying it could be in 5. And at the time, I was giving Boston 6 just because how much I respect Kyrie. I don't think he's gonna do a gentleman sweep. But now it's looking that way, and now they're going back to Milwaukee, I believe.
For a long time, especially going into the playoffs, I was saying Kyrie's the most unstoppable player. The only player that can stop Kyrie is Kyrie. 8 for 22 and then 7 for 22. When you're the best player on a championship contending team, you can't have back-to-back bad games like that. Kyrie's been in this situation. Obviously, he came back down 3-1 in the final. Ain't no more pressure than that. You know what I'm saying? And he played phenomenally all of those games. That's what it's going to take. it's going to take Kyrie scoring 40, 50 points.
Mhm.
It's going to take that effort that he had against Golden State that year against Milwaukee.
But and I don't like to be this type of dude because I see all this happen every time we mention Kyrie in playoffs. He did have LeBron James with him though,
Okay.
and I'm only mentioning that not for to diminish Kyrie, but to say who the hell is his number two that's
Exactly,
gonna give
who's
him
gonna
that
step up
support?
like that.
Because Kyrie had to go off, but
Yeah.
he also LeBron was also going
LeBron
off
was
too.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't see that from Tatum consistently, Jaylen Brown consistently. Where the hell has Gordon Hayward been at?
Remember, we got to give Gordon.
But he's getting
Hayward
paid a lot. That's what I'm saying.
But
He broke his. Yeah.
yeah.
Come on, man.
Man,
We gave it
just
to
like
Paul
Paul
George.
George.
Come on, bro.
but Paul George at least was an MVP candidate coming out.
this year, but he was a year removed
Right.
from the injury.
Right.
So
Fair
all
is
I'm
fair.
We got it. We got it.
Then why
Yeah.
is Brad Stevens giving him 27, 30 minutes and he only scoring 2? That's a coaching
Paul
thing.
George still got minutes too when he came
He
back.
did.
But Gordon Hayward ain't no damn Paul George
We know
before or
that.
after the injury.
But at the end of the day,
Paul-
that's his guy,
Mm.
right? Come on,
Nepotism.
they got- that's his guy, and like you said, they're paying him. So I can't just bench your ass. Like I gotta see what you got.
Well, we ain't paying nobody right now. This ain't a money thing. You got paid, so you gonna get paid regardless if you get these minutes or
But-
not.
but-
This the
But
playoffs.
who's he taking minutes from?
He taking minutes away. Oh, okay, never mind. You right.
'Cause-
You right.
You have an argument if there were other guys on the bench that you can go to and maybe they give you more. Yabusele? Nah, bruh. I'll give.
What about
Gordon
Aaron
Hayward.
Baines?
Huh?
What about Aaron Baines?
Oh no.
Nah, not.
Against, but as far as the Giannis
He a
support,
thug.
Nah,
That's
you-
all.
you
That's
can't-
his
that's
job.
6'5". That's a walking
That's
6
his
fouls.
job.
Yeah, no, but
To be
come on.
thugging, but
Come
nah,
on, that's
nah.
not, nah.
Um,
You know,
I don't think the series is over yet.
Okay.
I will.
seven?
What makes
It's
you
going
say
seven?
that it has to go
will-
second
I
seven?
will
If you,
respect Kyrie.
I respect him too, but 3-1 against
But
with
He
these
hasn't
odds.
shot well.
with these odds.
But what happens when he starts shooting more better than?
To me, it's not about him. I've never
40%.
been
nah,
on
it is
Kyrie.
about him.
Yes.
I don't think it's about. It's about the team.
But Kyrie's best game in this series, what happened to Milwaukee?
They couldn't
lost.
shoot.
No. I'm saying when Kyrie played his best game,
Yes,
they won the game.
but also Milwaukee had one of their worst.
I understand that, but that was a lot of their defense too. It wasn't just Milwaukee.
Yeah, no, yeah. But I'm just
Right.
saying. But
and
Milwaukee,
and
feel
the,
you.
and you know the pressure of the being in the second round because we saw it. At least I saw it in game 2. They were still tight, but once they loosen up, they're running downhill. But to FIFO's point, like they won when Kyrie was better.
Mhm.
You can't say it's not Kyrie when he's shooting 39% from the field.
no,
It's
I'm not.
all
No, I'm not
Kyrie.
saying. But like he's gonna like all superstars have bad games or a couple games, right?
He's had how
No.
many, Nick?
Exactly, 2 back to back.
He had them back to back. But
Superstars can't do that.
3.
3 bad games, but like horrendous back to back.
but I'm just saying. But where is the other support to?
Forget the others. This is Kyrie's
because
team.
the first half.
Forget the others, Nick.
The first half, but this is a team sport. Why are we always acting like it's just Kyrie?
Because-
I mentioned other players, and we still going back to Kyrie.
because
I
here-
brought up the coach, and we still going back to
because
Kyrie.
he asked for this.
No. What it is?
We love that about players, though, right?
No, of course, but the
He gotta
thing
show up.
is that Kyrie's the difference. You see what I'm saying? You're naming all of these other guys. All of these other guys, when they won that first game, they did the same thing that they did all these other games. They ain't go up, they ain't go down. These guys are right here. The main guy that has gone up and gone down is Kyrie. Kyrie is the pulse of this team. Like Ken said, Kyrie wanted this. What was Kyrie saying all season, Ken?
It's my team.
Or get me to the playoffs.
It's my team.
Get me to the
Get me
playoffs.
to the playoffs.
We in the playoffs now, and,
And-
you're playing against arguably the
Yes.
MVP of the league.
Yes,
He has to step
but
up.
we've been critical of Kyrie all season. So that's why it's like, to me, it's like we're saying the same thing. Like, at what point do we focus on, y'all got to step up too? Because as great as LeBron was in the finals last year, we mentioned J.R. Smith blunders, George Hill blunders, Jeff Green blunders. Like, we mentioned that
Why?
the team didn't help him out either.
Wait, why though? LeBron showed up. LeBron showed up and nobody else didn't. Kyrie's not showing up and nobody else is.
But
Kyrie got a
so
lead.
so
by-
what if Kyrie has a 45-point game
Then it's on the
and
others.
then
Then
they
it's
still
on the
lose
others.
and they
Yep.
still lose?
Then it's on the
Do,
others.
but do
Then it's
you?
on the
Do,
others.
no, I'm asking you. Do you think the media is gonna say the others ain't show
I
up,
don't-
or
I
that
don't- I
Kyrie?
don't care about the others.
No, but I'm saying that's the conversation.
But the conversation is based off of what we say. I don't. Sometimes I use them for context a little bit. However, Ken is 1,000,000% right. If LeBron went to the finals last year and he struggled and the team struggled, LeBron would get the lion's share of the blame. LeBron has escaped a lot of the blame in the finals, especially against Golden State, because he has shown up. Name me one game that he hasn't shown up against these Golden State Warriors in the finals. He's been there. He's been the rock of stability, even that first year when he was shooting 30-some%, but he was damn near averaging a triple-double because he ain't had no help. Like, he's been there, so you can't blame LeBron.
And if
But
this was Westbrook, same thing.
If
Like
this
we
was
jumped
Dame,
we jumped on Westbrook. We Harden. When Harden was,
Yep.
we got to be consistent.
yep.
We got to be consistent. Kyrie is the leader. They
not
go
playing
as the rest of the team will follow him. They believe in him. So these other guys, yeah, they got to play better and they got to step up. But shit, they're not gonna get there if Kyrie is not leading them. Kyrie has been the problem on this team all year long. We have documented it. I've said it. You guys didn't believe me. Then it came out. Now we were all on one accord. Then we were like, okay, let's wait and see till they get to the playoffs. They in the playoffs. I had my reservations about that first round series when they barely beat Indiana. And right now, it looks like those reservations are holding true.
So how much of the blame are we giving Kyrie if it's over tomorrow
I'm gonna give
or
you,
on Wednesday night?
I'm gonna do one better, Nick. My other punching bag,
That's what I was getting to. But you can go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
Brad Stevens.
Let's talk about it.
Brad Stevens, the golden boy himself, the good son, the good son. All this talk, as good as Pop, better than Pop, ain't won a motherfucking thing. Oh yeah, he got to the Eastern Conference Final last year without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward.
Back to back, didn't he? Because then he get there with Isaiah and they got swept.
Oh, and then because he couldn't beat LeBron, and now you run into Giannis, but you got all your pieces back, and you may get swept, a gentleman's sweep by this team when you were supposed to be a championship title contender that's supposed to go against
When they
Golden State.
They couldn't win a home game on y'all court last season, and now they about to gentleman
You
sweep.
stole home court advantage, and you lost 3 straight, and you lost 2 at home. Come on, man. Like, we these guys got to earn this shit sometimes, man. And they were so quick to prop him up, and he didn't earn shit. Was losing in the first round, and people still was talking about this guy's a great. He can coach his ass off, but he ain't earned what Pop has earned.
Because he was turning rocks into lemonade, and now people saying this lemonade tastes like rocks. So now it's just like, cause for me it's just like, cause I was on that, me and FIFO, but I'll put myself on this. Like, I thought Brad Stevens was a lot better than what I'm seeing right now. I thought he would have this team in a way better position, especially. It's okay to lose a game, but the game adjustments, I feel like he hasn't really made that. Now, I don't know how much of that is his coaching and the team not responding to that. Like, is Kyrie doing his own thing, or is it more of like the defensive schemes are Mike Budenholzer, is
They
his
don't like
coaching
each other.
affecting that?
They don't like each other. And Stephen A. Smith said that, like people, I use them for context. I'm observing something, I'm seeing something, I'm saying, okay, what can I read? What can I hear to back up what I'm seeing, or to tell me that what I'm seeing is wrong? He said that after the Philly game, he went into the locker room and he said Jason Tatum looked depressed. Jaylen Brown looked like he didn't want to be there. And this is at the end of the season. You're about to go to the playoffs, and that's the type. Man, that's not good, man. So now all of a sudden, Kyrie go out there, you lose on your home court, and then people say, "Hey, man, you was 7 to 22." He was like, "Yeah, I should have shot 30." How is that going to play out in the
Mama
locker room?
mentality.
You know,
but it's because they had that type of success last year. That Mamba mentality doesn't bode well for the rest of those guys.
because we did it without you.
Exactly. And then the other thing too, talking about the good son, is it's one thing to talk X's and O's, and it's one thing to put in a game plan, but it's another thing to manage egos. And some of the best coaches right? Like I would honestly say that Pop don't know how to manage egos. You know why? Because Tim Duncan ain't say a damn thing.
David
Kawhi
Robinson.
ain't say a damn thing. David Robinson ain't said a damn thing. And when you have your best players not saying a damn thing, you ain't saying a damn thing. So Pop hasn't had to manage egos in that way, right? Phil Jackson,
That's a good point.
master of egos. Doesn't matter who you, Michael Jordan, that's cool. You want to do that, you want to win, right? With his all, his sage and shit and whatever the hell, Shambhala, whatever he do, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was able to manage and corral egos. Maybe Brad Stevens is amazing at X's and O's, but maybe he's still learning this ego
And
thing.
that's the sentiment that I've been hearing.
Kyrie all season.
He had.
And that's when you start really looking at him like this looked like more of an accountant than a coach, because just like
Coach.
I'm saying he can coach, but X's and O's, not
No,
personal.
he got the S's and O's.
That's what I'm saying. Like personalities,
okay.
it takes a certain like Mark Jackson type of personality. To be like, hold on, bro, you ain't gonna talk to me or
Even
run this
Steve
team.
Kerr.
Yeah,
Because Steve Kerr. Because think about it. Because Golden State is a little bit about X's and O's. It's not a whole, but it's more about.
there's
an
a system.
idea,
There's a system there.
right?
Yeah.
But Steve Kerr gotta check people. Steve Kerr gotta check them. That's a lot of ego.
And he willing to get punched in the mouth for it, as we know in his past. So
You know what I'm saying?
It wouldn't
So-
surprise me if Boston won tomorrow, but given the mental state of the team,
They don't
it
have
would
any
surprise me
confidence.
if they get blown out.
And let's give praise to Mike. Like as much as we
Of
talking about the
course.
Celtics blunders, Mike Budenholzer got this Bucks team looking phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah, they.
Everybody from the bench to George Hill got a second win in
Where
his
was
career.
this last year?
It got to be the coaching, because it damn sure
A
ain't.
little bit of coaching, but also I think that
And
even though the Bucks finished with the best record, and even though they are expected to compete for a championship,
Less pressure.
less pressure. When you
And
play
he's
with
healthy, too.
LeBron, it's championship or nothing.
Yeah,
Every
And-
free throw feel like it
You
it
add
counts.
a lot, and
True.
even though Milwaukee is really great, they have the best Popovich disciple ever. You know what I'm saying? They have arguably the how do I quantify Giannis? The most LeBron-esque player since LeBron.
I would say the highest ceiling fringe superstar we have in the league right now.
No, not fringe. Legit superstar.
Well, I thought we were saving that title for if he gets
No,
out
no,
of the
no,
second
no,
round.
no, bro. Hey,
He's already out.
well, you get 36 and 14 and 4 and like two steals and 3 blocks.
Because I'm cool with him being a superstar. I was just
I-
waiting. I was waiting for the series to be over to say that.
Here's the thing. I've always said that he was a superstar. No, I take that back. I always said that he got to do something in the playoffs. But even if the playoffs stop now, and even if they lost this series, it ain't because of him. That first game, he looked like trash.
yeah.
But after that, oh, man.
He and I had to modify the sentence because I said he had a 3-point shot. He's taking and making 3-pointers, whereas in the past he wasn't.
Yep.
And he's taking them bitches with confidence.
He took a lot like he was
Like, he's
chucking them up
jacking
last game.
and it's gonna elevate his game to a whole other
Oh,
level.
yeah. Because you talking about a guy that easy can average 25 without a consistent jumper. That was like LeBron. Didn't LeBron average like 22, 23 his first year in the league
Mhm.
without really being a consistent jump shooter?
Mhm.
Yo, when Giannis, I'm not going to say if because it's a matter
He's
of
working
when.
on it.
Because he's working.
And
you
Mike
see
gonna
it.
make sure he get it.
Of course. When he starts hitting 3-pointers at 35, 37, oh my God.
And the mentality, man. Like he
And the
wants to be the
physicality,
best.
you talking about the guy looked like he's 7'1", almost 7'2". You know what I'm saying? You talking about one dribble from the 3-point line, he yamming on you. You talking about y'all not stopping me from getting to the rim?
You know
Oh,
what?
you want to play me back? I bet. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then it's not just the points, Ken. It's the tenacity getting rebounds. It's the tenacity chase down blocks. It's I'm gonna shut you down. Oh, you not scoring no more. I'm gonna shut you down. Hey, coach, where you at? I'm gonna guard you too. Like it. Look,
Will
man,
they make it to the finals?
They can.
Will they?
I don't know.
We have to see I have to see the Nets. First, when they get out of this round,
Who they
if
match
get
up with?
out, I got to see who they match up with.
I think they going to the finals. You already know. I picked them in 7 against Golden State.
Woo. So let me. All right. Let me ask y'all this. So can Milwaukee beat Toronto?
Yes, easily.
excuse me. Can Milwaukee beat Philly?
Yes, but that would be more difficult than Toronto, in my opinion.
Because they got way more guys that they can throw at
Yeah.
Giannis. That's the difference.
The reason why I say easily with Toronto is because outside of Kawhi, where's the consistent scoring
Yeah.
coming from?
Yeah, that's why I kind of
Yeah,
back
and
off.
if I'm Giannis, I'm like, everybody else on this squad, y'all ball the hell out. I may not get the points, but Kawhi ain't beating us. No, because think about it.
He can go up with him.
Giannis is the only guy physically that has the physical ability to go lock down the best guys in this league. We're talking the KDs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying like KD is too otherworldly.
I won't say lockdown, slow down the best.
Yes, but I think he can lock down Kawhi. I don't think he can lock down K, but he can lock down me. That's just me thinking. I think Giannis can lock down Kawhi. I think Giannis can go to a point where, you know, if Kawhi still scores 20 or 22,
It's a hard.
because he's like 5 or 20.
Yeah, it's a hard 20.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, it's a very hard 20.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And there's not many players that could do that. And
It sounds like you want to say they going to the finals.
I just, you know what, man? I don't like the other players on that roster. I love
think
the
they-
coaching staff. I don't know, man. I don't trust them guys like that.
They fit perfectly. I think Mike has the best. This is the best constructed team, chemistry wise, that's bought in. They know who they defer to. Everybody knows their role. And they don't even have Malcolm Brogdon yet. And he's a 50, 40, 90 dude. And it's like, once he gets back in the fold, hopefully it's like as easy as riding a bike as far as putting him back in the offense. But if they get him back running like that, like, who can really – Golden State is the only team. And that's when you're in the finals.
I
So
don't know, man. I don't know. Can they? Yes. Will they? I'm waiting to see.
all right, Houston, Golden State.
Hot mess.
Has Houston figured out Golden State?
Absolutely not. They got lucky they won these last 2 games, man.
Is it only because of the home cooking?
Not even that. They just got well, maybe.
Because they were saying that they
Maybe.
were more physical than Golden State last game, and the best way
And
to
they
go
almost
against Steph
blew it.
Curry is beat him up.
And he still put up 30.
and James Harden put up 38 in this last game.
Yeah.
Finally.
And he was hitting in everybody's eye.
Finally.
Yeah, it wasn't a inefficient 30 that he got.
Free throw line,
Yeah,
30.
Game 3. In Game 3, he put up the points, but it wasn't. You know, when we look at the box score, it looked great, but when you watching the game, it was like, oh, this is ugly. Last game, he was, like you said, in his eye, he was highly confident in the shots once he started making them. But have they figured them out? Absolutely not. KD's still out there just giving them that work whenever he want to. Klay Thompson, Draymond has stepped up. So
It's on Steph.
I
ain't it?
don't even. I hate watching this series because I hate everything. I just don't like Houston's offense. I just don't like it. It's just
It's a real rec league.
It's just- it's
jacking up threes.
it's like they double down on ISO ball and they're just throwing up threes all over the place. I just don't like it, man. It's just
Is there an issue with Steph?
I just think he's off. And I think, I think at pretty much every player in the playoffs at this point, they dealing with something physically. You know, it's a long season. Plus now it's even more intense, more physical. But Steph just looks off. It don't look like it's really injury related. It just looks like he's.
well, he did dislocate his finger. I don't think that's it.
But it was dislocated and he came right back. Like,
It's playing defense and also having to play 2 ways.
I'll put it to you like this. The reason why I say I think he's just off, this man typically shoots like close to 90. He's shooting like low 80s right now from the free throw line. That just means you
That's
off.
the finger, man.
I've seen other players play with broken fingers
Yeah,
though.
you take that shit together,
dislocated.
man.
You a
Tape it
superstar.
together.
Those certain injuries that I don't feel like should be a factor to you, especially how skillful he is. He drills all the time.
He
should get out of that.
Diminish you 5 percentage points in your shooting overall. You know, not because it's not like he had a fractured finger.
Fine, it's a physical series then. It's wearing on him. What's next? This
Oh.
I
series
think
is-
he's off.
Toronto,
series is
Philly.
back.
Is this Philly's series to lose?
No. Nope. And it never was.
You think
I
Toronto was
I
the
think-
favorites from the start?
I actually had Toronto winning the series.
I
You
think
know,
it's a
I had
series.
them. I had them winning too, but I say that question because Philly is the obviously more talented team outside of Golden State. They're probably the most talented team in the league. If they were able to get it together they could easily get to the finals. They could easily take Golden State to 7. But it was all about their mentality going into it, and they're still very young. The team that they got right
They're
now
not
was
ready,
just
man.
was just put together.
They're not ready.
Yeah, all right. So I've been a big proponent of this person, and you know, I'm always one to say when I was right, say when I was wrong, and Brett Brown. I'm not gonna say he's in over his head, but I don't know if he's a championship coach. I think that he was the coach to get him through the process, to get him to the playoffs, to get their ass handed to him. He's their Mark Jackson.
And I like that Philly gave him a shot.
Yes. It's
You
not
know.
like, oh, okay, like we're almost good. Bye.
So they treat him better than Mark.
Yeah. Well, no, 'cause I think they treated Mark good because they got
Mark
got rid of,
wore out his welcome. That's,
Yes.
We always.
How long
we
was
al-
Mark there? Was it 2 seasons?
Nah,
No, he
like
was there
3.
for a minute, but we often
Almost
forget about the issues he had with the
Yes.
owners.
Yes. Okay.
So
And
yeah.
obviously Brett Brown don't have those problems. It's just that watching them, you know, and I can't say it's all Brett Brown. It's not Brett Brown's problem. I just don't think that Brett Brown is the coach to get them guys over that hump.
Should this be Philly series to lose?
Yes.
Yes, it should. I just don't think it is. They're to me mentally, they're just not fully all the way there and ready.
Is that the coach's fault, or is that something that
I think it's also being young,
Mhm.
and when Embiid
Young at your best players. Because as a team, they're not young. JJ's
Yeah.
not young. Jimmy's not young.
and
Tobias
he's
not
trying,
young.
he's deferred to Embiid.
Mhm.
He's called Embiid the best
Mhm.
player. He said, "Go get it, go win it for us." We said we need you.
Mhm.
That's not
Shoot
Jimmy.
it.
Jimmy
Go shoot
Butler
it.
don't. Yeah, Jimmy
And
Butler
I,
don't do
and
that.
and the criticism Embiid, I brought this up months ago as far as him being out of shape, him not, I just feel like he's hitting that Shaq wall, right?
He
Where
is
you could
Shaq.
we could be the most dominant player we ever seen if you just do the right things.
He's-
if you dot the I's, cross the T's.
Man, here's the thing. Even without doing those things, he is one of the most dominant players in the NBA right now.
Well, I'm saying the most, like number one.
He's not going to ever be more dominant than Shaq. I think people have never seen anything like him before.
I think he has the opportunity to, and I think that
More dominant than Shaq?
I think he's squandering because he's better than Shaq defensively.
And he got a three-point
now
shot.
here's the thing: like if you're talking about just
I'm
pure
talking about
physical
dominance. Yes.
No,
no,
Shaq
I'm
is
talking about
that.
as a player. Like,
Yes, as an overall basketball player, Embiid has the opportunity to
Oh,
be
yeah,
more
yeah, but-
dominant than Shaq.
Oh well,
But if you're just talking about get the ball
don't mention Shaq
back to the basket,
Don't mention Shaq to me.
Don't
mention Hakeem when you mention.
Yeah, he's
that.
more Hakeem
mention,
than
mention
Shaq.
Hakeem to me.
okay.
But he has more Shaq than Akeem had Shaq. He has that level of physicality that Akeem didn't have.
Okay.
Just that pure size. Because Akeem was like 7 foot, but Akeem was more slender. Even
He's
even
a
as he got
mixture
older,
of the both. 'Cause-
he
yeah,
is a
yeah,
mixture
yeah,
of the
yeah,
both.
yeah.
He is a mixture of the both. But and I would say that Joel is more Akeem than Shaq, but he has Shaq. In him.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he has more defensive presence than Shaq did.
I think what we're seeing, and I sent this to Q, is that this team clearly is Embiid's team. This team clearly goes as he goes, and we've seen it play out in 3 of their losses because they lost tonight.
Yep.
In 3 of their losses right
8
now.
turnovers as a center.
If he don't show up and if he don't put up points, it's not going to happen. Tobias Harris, MIA. Ben Simmons, not to be found.
But look,
You gotta put
context
the
with Ben. Context with
No.
Ben. Because the numbers are never gonna blow you away with Ben Simmons.
They should.
Why?
He's an all-star.
But he is a playmaking point guard with no shot. So the numbers, the efficiency numbers in terms of
But
scoring.
he has to have an impact, and I'm not feeling his impact. I know the numbers
I feel
won't be
you.
there
I feel
because
you.
of his role on the team.
I feel you.
His
I
role
feel
on the
you.
team is not to put up all these gaudy
Yes,
statistical
but the
numbers.
impact needs to be there.
But
I'm 100% there. with you.
Impact is just not being
It's
felt.
not there. It's not there. It's
You
not
know,
there.
and
He
he's
needs
had
to step up.
opportunities.
Yeah, he need to step up. He need to step up.
But yeah, so
Their most consistent player has been Jimmy.
yes.
So what about
Jimmy came to play?
what about Toronto? As far as what made you, it was a no-brainer that you said Toronto was like this. I picked them.
Because Brett Brown, because Toronto, at the end of the day, still is the second best, is the second seed in the conference. Kawhi is a champion. He's been through the ringers. He's lost one. He's won one. He's been the reason why they lost one. So he has that makeup. Siakam, man, did I say it right? Siakam. Siakam is a baller.
He is, but he's struggling. Though.
Yeah, this
He
series.
got off, I think he was hurt last year.
I think they're really missing OG.
Year.
They are.
Yeah.
They're missing that depth.
Mm-hmm.
They need that other guy to throw at the Benz and Tobias Harris of this series.
But
And your
Siakam has
favorite player, Kyle Lowry, ain't chipping in.
Who?
But he will. But he's in the perfect role to be the third guy, right? Siakam is the 2. Kawhi, we already know who he is.
So are we elevating Siakam too quickly? Because
No,
absolutely not.
he earned it.
Absolutely
no,
not.
I mean as far as saying he's the designated 2, because I feel
absolutely not.
Not because
Who are you gonna give it to?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think on a championship team he should be the number 2. I think he should be the number 3 guy on a championship team. But in this scenario, he is number 2. He's elevated.
because
to
isn't
that number 2.
Toronto? Would you say they're championship contenders?
They are. But again, if you can put together the perfect team, he wouldn't be your number 2 guy. He'd be your number 3 guy.
Yeah.
But in the way they're constructed, he is their number 2.
Does Toronto closes out in 6?
No,
Nah,
I think it goes 7.
It should go 7.
I think it goes 7.
I
still
knew-
got Philly.
You still got Philly?
I still got Philly.
I
You got
want
Philly
Philly
in
to
7?
win. I picked Toronto, but I want Philly to win. I would, but at some point they're gonna lose. So they're gonna run up again. Even if they win this series and go to the conference finals, what they gonna do with Giannis? And until
But they got bodies though.
I know, but
Well,
until,
their biggest hole on defense is their paint presence. Like as much
who's
as
hole?
Philly,
The-
they're
How?
like as far as because in that Brooklyn series they were getting straight to the paint real easy, and that's why I felt like the Nets could have took that series a little bit further if they could execute properly instead of because they even settled for 3-point shots just to try to close the game out because they were just that close. But for me, it's just like looking at Toronto. What Kawhi does best is he goes to the rack a lot. He can do the 3-point shot.
A lot of jump.
He's
shooting a lot of mid-range.
mid-range and then 3-point.
But
shooting
from
he
what I
get to the rack like that.
but he can get to the rim at will. And that to me, once you shut that down and make him an exclusive shooter, that helps out your defense a lot better. But trying to but for as far as them cutting and slashing to the rim, I see that as a big problem for Philly.
And you know Toronto has an offense, but I knew Philly was in trouble in game 2. Well, no, game 3 when they were back at home, and Embiid did the Shaq airplane shit.
Oh yeah.
I said, oh,
that was a big
Yeah.
game for him. Didn't he ball out that
He
game?
balled out.
He
Yeah.
did, but
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Come
man.
on, man. Yeah, it's too premature. It's
way
too
too
premature.
Are you gonna say if it was a closeout game or something like that?
Right,
But-
right. It's not even
because
yeah.
in that game that was a big comeback.
Yeah.
That was they had momentum
They had
going.
a-
It was
yeah.
fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like that was a moment.
Yeah.
This is just game
This
3.
is game 3. Yeah.
This is game 3. What are you doing?
Right.
It's not even over, and you haven't won a game since.
Yeah, and it's not like you were trying to go up 3-0.
Right.
Because that's even different.
But that's the
Right.
mentality that I'm talking about.
He's
Like,
still a kid.
He is, and I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not judging him for it. I understand. Like, what did you guys always say? You got to get there and get your ass whooped. Michael Jordan was 1 for 9 until in the playoffs until
got Pip.
Pippen got there.
Yeah.
You know,
He
swept
was
twice.
first round exit.
Yeah, swept twice.
Yeah.
So I'm not judging him for this because this is all part of the process.
Are you questioning his mentality though?
No, it's just part of the process, part of learning what it takes to be a champion. You know,
you can't overstate the minor victories. Game 2 win is a minor victory. That you know what you do, you chalk that up. Hey, good game, bro. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you get some drinks after the game or whatever. But that's it. You go to sleep.
Right.
You get ready for the next game. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when you go up in dominating fashion, like a game 3, you go up 3-0. You can celebrate that a little bit because shit, we dominating the fuck out of y'all. What you gonna do? Come back? You know what I'm saying? You gonna win 4 straight against us after we blew you out 3 times? Nah, it's not gonna happen. Then you come out, maybe you lose a game or 2, but you know what I'm saying? You could win that series. But Ken is 100% right on this, man. And Embiid has to go through some of these ringers for him to understand. Because Shaq went through it. Shaq went through it.
Yeah, swept in the finals.
Yeah, Shaq was a little too jovial. Even when he got to the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? He was playing with Kobe. That was Kobe's biggest problem with him. or one of the biggest problems with him. You know what I'm saying? Embiid is gonna have to learn. It's not gonna be this season. It may not be next season, but at some point he's gonna have to know how and he needs to take care of it. Because LeBron went through the same thing. LeBron ain't learned that till he went to Miami. Pat Riley and D Wade taught him that. Because remember all of them years in Cleveland, with all of the pictures and all of and all of that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about business, and I understand. And even what Joel Embiid said after that win. Right? Did you hear what he said? Oh, chemistry's overrated.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He said that?
Yeah. He said
Yeah.
chemistry.
And Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler said it too.
And
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler
Wait,
agreed.
hold on, but there was something else that he said too that gives more credence to what you're saying. He said the whole chemistry is overrated thing, but he also said we play best when I'm laughing and joking on the floor. If you see me with a mean or serious face, we're not gonna win. And what have you seen these last two games? A mean and serious face. He's not having quote unquote
He was
fun.
sick, you know, in game 4.
Yeah,
Come on, that horrible game, yeah.
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 You think is it signs of the Dwight Howard syndrome?
No,
Nah,
yeah.
nah,
Hey,
nah.
I'm
why
just
you
saying-
being disrespectful?
I'm just-
I'm just saying
Nah,
that's what y'all.
Nah.
Is these not the
No.
same qualifications and
No, he
characteristics?
didn't say what name did he say, Nick? He didn't say Dwight Howard.
No, I'm just
He
saying.
said Shaq.
No, I'm saying the mind syndrome of
Shaq.
I want to be happy go lucky.
That was Shaq.
That was Shaq in Orlando.
That was Shaq.
was
Dwight
playing
Howard
for
tried to be Shaq.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know what the difference was? Is that Dwight Howard can never.
Dwight Howard.
I know, right? Dwight Howard was never a guy that you gave him the ball and said, "Hey, take us home." Shaq was that, and Embiid is that. And if you are that, then you have the right to have whatever type of personality you want.
And he's proven it in the playoffs. He's hit clutch baskets. He's been the go-to
His
guy.
free
in
He
the
wants the
throws.
quarter.
ball. He wants the ball.
Yeah.
That's
It's-
different.
Yep.
That's different.
So it's just mentality, man. He just gotta grow up. It's gonna take a minute, but he'll get there.
How old is he now? 24?
Eh,
23?
Probably.
And he definitely need to holler at LeBron and get some tips on being in shape. He definitely
does.
get that
Holla
under
at
control.
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that series going to 7. Another series I wouldn't mind going to 7 is Portland Denver.
Oh, yeah.
I'm loving this series.
Ooh, I'm on board
Back
now.
and forth.
I'm loving this series.
and
I
forth
might
now.
love, and as crazy as it might sound, I might love this series more than I love the OKC Portland series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is
because-
better.
Oh,
We
I don't know
gotta-
how it is,
Because
but it's
Denver
better.
has the firepower to match CJ and Dame.
It's not
OKC
sloppy
didn't have it.
And,
basketball.
but in a different way too, because you got the two wings, and then you got a little big man game with Denver, in my opinion, with Murray and Jokic, and
But then Denver's depth shows up every game.
man.
Will Barton showed up last game,
Yes.
definitely.
He used to play in
Yes.
Portland.
Huh?
He used to play.
Really?
Yeah, he
Portland.
did. He was drafted by Portland,
Yeah.
I want to say.
I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Will Barton's been a journeyman.
Mhm.
Denver is his home now.
Yeah. What I like about this is that the first 2 games I wasn't really rocking with. First 2, I wasn't rocking with it. But these last 2,
Yeah,
like the
they
fourth
done stepped
OT is when they got me.
Yeah, that's the
Yep.
game.
fourth
I
OT is
watched
when they
that
got
game. I stayed up.
And it was pissing me off because Dame and CJ kept playing hero ball when they would go up like 4, so they kept going for the knockout punches, and then we ended up blowing the lead somehow. And then, but outside of that, though,
Shout out to Rodney Hood.
man.
Rodney
savior.
Hood. Rodney,
Yeah, he
these,
came in and saved it.
You
But
know
he
what
was the
I'm-
only guy with fresh legs, though.
Yeah.
you know what I'm realizing? All these Cavs
Again, he was in
castaways. Yeah, all these Cavs castaways are balling in playoffs elsewhere. That says something to me. And number 2,
Expectations, man.
as much as Jokic is built like a potato sack, I don't know how he's playing all these damn minutes and still producing. He had a triple double the last game, right?
2 triple doubles. I think I
Easy.
was back-to-back triple doubles.
How?
Kill
Man,
him.
dude is crafty, man.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Look, since Arvydas Sabonis, we haven't seen this, bro.
We didn't get a chance to see Arvydas Sabonis.
No,
we just
we-
heard
Yeah,
about
we,
it.
No.
yeah, we
We
got
didn't see the
We didn't see the prime every
That's,
Yes.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he came into the league and still
No, he was-
dominant. It just
But he had bad knees
Yep.
and stuff. He
Yeah,
was
he was
like
just
kind of
super
damaged.
slow.
He was
This-
damaged good, yeah.
This is what it feels like. I feel like this is what we would have seen. Something
Yes.
like this.
even better.
Yeah.
Arvydas was, to me, and anybody, you can say whatever you want, but Arvydas at his prime, I think, was still a level higher than where Jokic is right now. Not saying that the Joker
Wow.
can't catch where Arvydas was in his prime, but if you go prime Arvydas to where Joker is right now, Arvydas is still
I'm
better.
just glad we started showing. See, we be ahead of the curve, man. We started showing Milwaukee love 1st.
Mhm.
We started showing Jokic love,
Mhm.
man. Like
Mhm.
and whoever tweeted us, we've always showing Kawhi love, man. Always. Kawhi did that to himself when he got fake hurt.
Come
Well,
on,
San
man. He
Antonio.
protecting the investment. You gotta.
That's not. Get out of here, man. With that weak, see, I thought that weak shit. Anyway.
Nonetheless,
But it's fun.
this series, who comes out?
Denver.
Why you say that?
More.
Denver and what? You think it goes 7?
6.
Ooh.
So Denver win tonight and at Portland. Pretty
You
much.
disrespectful.
That's what
to
you're
me.
saying.
I am.
You're
I am
being
disrespecting
disrespectful.
Portland. I think I just Harkless.
What happened to that Dame love y'all was talking about?
It's Harkless. It's Harkless. It's Aminu. It's
Just those two. Just those two.
Seth Curry's playing well.
He is. That's what I'm saying.
Kansas
Just
doing
those
his thing.
He's
He's
doing
hurt.
as much as he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Look.
He is in pain.
If anybody,
He jumps at everything.
He does. But if anybody gets the Iron Man award for these playoffs, it's him.
Because he
Yeah.
got a separated shoulder, right?
Separated
Yes.
shoulder.
Yeah, dog.
Yes.
And
And he's
he's
playing
playing.
against Joker.
Yeah.
That big ass mountain. Come on, man. Like, nah. But here's the thing. I give you Mo Harkless and I give you Aminu. That's been their Achilles heel as a team. However, Seth is stepping
Mhm.
up. Everybody that plays outside of those two guys have been really consistent for him. So I'm gonna go Portland 7 because
That's on the road
On the
now.
road.
Hey.
Pointing to his
Hey.
watch, Dame time.
Hey.
I think that
Don't sleep on CJ McCollum too, man. This
No,
guy-
no, yeah.
man,
He was
that
he was
dude,
he
man.
carried that 4 overtime
He sure did.
victory.
Yeah.
was
If it wasn't
balling.
for them, they would have
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah, man.
yeah, Dame woke up. I think somebody said something to him, and it was going into the third OT, and I was like, and he was chirping at somebody, and Dame came out, hit a 3 and hit
Yep.
another shot, but
Yep.
Dame was big in the last game. Those clutch baskets, he was hitting
Mhm.
all those layups and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like he's changed up this game because I think they're running him off the 3-point line. or something.
So did you hear what Dame worked on because he got swept in the playoffs last year and
Mm-mm.
he didn't want to hear all of that? So that's the reason why he's taking all these deep threes. So what he wanted to do was not be able to be double teamed. So if you look at last year, remember what I was saying with Terry Stotts that he had to create more space.
Mm-hmm.
But what they were doing, they were just smothering Dame. Now you're gonna smother me 35, 40 feet away from the back. Go ahead.
I'll blow right
Go
by
ahead.
him.
Well, no, I give
You
the
can shoot
ball
it.
up. No, you give the ball up to CJ. Now the court is wide open. You're playing 4-on-3 basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now, like, he's playing so far away from the basketball, you already know he can blow by you. He hitting step back from 40s.
And
You know,
man, that's actually dope because now, because of that, they're starting to come out further on
Yeah,
him.
Denver.
And then now he's blowing right by.
Well,
him.
they blow right,
Exactly.
but they're rather, but there's like if we're gonna lose by our way. Like we're gonna rather take the 2 than the 3
I think
because the 3 is demoralizing, especially that far back. It's
That-
like because the mentality of the defense is like, damn, I gotta
half court.
I gotta do half court. It's like you can't keep that up.
Nah.
But
Yeah,
if
no,
you
that's one
force
way to
him to
look at
come
it.
in, then you
Yeah.
like somebody got to pick him up. If he scores, then let him score.
Mhm.
But we can't let him just get wherever he wants.
I don't
around
know
the
if they're
court.
necessarily scared of the 3, but that is one way to look at it. I think they just respecting his game.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's respect. Like I'd rather you gonna get yours, but we gonna get it on our terms.
So you know how we always this one particular player, Draymond Green. You know how we where does he fit? Where can he actually do what Draymond does in another team? Portland is that team because
Ooh,
they
yes.
don't have a big and I like Nurkic. Nurkic is nice, but he's not the playmaker of Joker. You know what I'm saying? And he can't handle the rock like that.
Damn,
But if
that's
they-
a really good fit.
But if they had a 4-man, regardless if he had the size or he's undersized or whatever, but if they had a 4-man that can do those dribble handoffs, that can make those high basketball IQ plays, that Dame will come off, I could fake the ball, make a dribble, and then throw a lob. They don't have that. Al-Farouq Amino is not that. Mo Harkless is not that. That's what they're missing, a playmaking 4. If they had that, they'd be virtually unstoppable.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting fit if Draymond Green goes to Portland. Man, I ain't even think about that.
Me either. But the reason why I like Denver, of course, obviously Jokic, but they just have more depth and more weapons, and everybody can hit buckets. Their offense looks good. Jamal Murray is a go-getter, and I just don't see that in return on Portland. And
So you saying Denver's in the Western Conference Finals?
yeah, I mean they have been the second best team in the
In the
West.
And the other day, when we was up here at the studio recording this shit, what did I tell you? Denver don't have their best player.
Mm-mm.
Are you talking about the young boy? what's his name?
Um,
From Michigan, right?
no.
No,
What's his
Harris
name?
is from Michigan.
No. What's his name?
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
He's their best player. Joker is nice, but I'm telling you, when that boy play next year and he win rookie of the Zion's going to just because he's too spectacular.
B, who you?
However, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be the second in rookie of the year next year.
Mhm.
Tell you, okay, mark my words. I said it here first.
B, who you think coming out?
Man, I think just because they got home court, I'll say Denver. These last, because what we in Game 5 right now, so yeah,
Mhm.
these last 2 out of the 3 games at Denver, I give the edge to them.
All
I
right.
hate to say it because they my boy Dame, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm
Yeah,
a.
Denver just deeper, man. They just
Mhm.
They are
they
deeper.
they,
though.
they deeper.
deeper.
When they start going, going to that further down the bench, and I'm only
Mhm.
seeing Portland going this far, I'm like,
Yeah.
man, that's
And,
a problem.
and then we got to talk about that front office because they hit on their draft picks,
Mhm.
right? And
Talking about Denver, then?
yes,
yes,
Denver has.
That's why they
And-
balling.
And think about this: why did they have all of those draft picks?
Melo?
The Carmelo Anthony trade. So
And look how the fruit of Melo's labor. Look
No.
at it. Look at the legend.
did you twist that? How did you twist that?
The legend of Melo continues.
Oh my God! No, but I think the lesson to be learned is that you can't put all of your eggs in one basket, regardless of how big that basket is.
Mm.
And sometimes when you move on, you better make sure you get a king's ransom for that asset,
And that's what they've been doing.
and that's what they've been doing. And obviously, it's twofold. You have to have enough guts and balls to move on from that type of star
Exactly.
player.
Yep.
But then you have to draft,
And if
Mhm.
and they got the right coach.
and the funny thing about all that is that if Melo just waited 3 more months or 4 more months to his free agency, which he was going to be, none of this would have happened.
Nope, they
Mm.
wouldn't have had none of this.
True. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, is Denver underrated in these playoffs in general? Because I feel like nobody.
Yeah.
I don't think like anybody like we're all
Yeah.
talking about Denver
Yeah.
winning, getting
Because
to the
they're
Western
young.
Conference Finals, and no one's
Yeah.
saying nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about
Because they're
Dame time,
Yeah.
and he's
young,
earned
man.
it.
Because
You
they're
got-
not sexy. They're not, they're young.
Yeah,
and they're not sexy.
yet.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of NBA pundits picked Denver to be like the surprise team. I don't know if they would have thought Western Conference Finals or even possibly the finals. I don't think nobody ever thought that. However, they are underrated because what do we always say here? You got to get when you young, you got to get your ass whooped in these playoffs. They haven't gotten their ass whooped in these playoffs. I think that first series against San Antonio taught them a lot.
That was a great series to go.
great series to get your feet wet into the playoffs.
And they went 7 in that
They
one.
win 7 in that, and you're going against the great Greg Popovich. We already talked about them, so I won't dive too much into that series. But that taught them a lot, and they're taking that into this series. And like B just said, they're deeper. You know what I'm saying? So there is strength in numbers, especially when you have guys that can hoop. And just think about just think about they got a guy on their bench that don't play that can go get you 30. IT. You know what I'm saying? So that's how deep they are. They're not even playing a guy that can go get them 30. So yes, they are underrated. I don't know when they get that lesson. It might be against Golden State if they do make the Western Conference
Yeah, 'cause
Finals.
That's
Golden
it.
State been whooping their ass in the regular season. Like
They-
every time it's like a a prime time game and they playing each other, it's like Golden State be like, all right, we're gonna make it because they're already talking about some. Is
Mhm.
Denver the best team in the West? Every time they played them,
Mhm.
Golden State made a statement.
Mhm.
Well,
It was like
Golden,
let's hush this up, right?
will Golden State be too tired by the time they get to the Western Conference?
Well, here's the
Finals?
thing. So is Boogie? I know they said Boogie's ready to come. Would he be back for the Western Conference
I
Finals?
think
or
they
the
said he
finals?
don't want to play.
I thought he said he was been practicing. And
He's been
training.
practicing, but I don't know if he's gonna play. But he can play. But yeah, so I don't know if he's
He
gonna
don't
come
want to
back. but-
re-injure. He's scared to like re-injure.
I-
and-
And maybe I misheard.
Well,
but
hopefully he plays in the finals if they make it that far. But yeah, man. Even if Denver loses in the Western Conference Finals, if they lose in the Western Conference Finals,
They
if they
will.
get that far, that's the greatest ass whooping and teaching lesson that they can have is to get their ass handed to them by Golden State. And I put it to you like this: for Denver's sake, I hope they get swept. And it's no ill will. I love
Damn.
Denver.
You just want to get to the finals.
No, it's not even that. I think that they need to understand what it is to be a dominant team because they have the foundation to be. Like I said, their best player not even playing yet, Michael Porter Jr. So if they're already the second best team in the West, right, in a season where Golden State had all their powers, they need to understand what it is to step on somebody's neck throughout the regular season and in these playoffs. And if Golden State gives them that, you know, Game of Thrones always be talking about honorable deaths and shit like that, right? That's what that would be for Denver. It'll be an honorable death to get swept by Golden State. I know it sounds crazy as hell. I may be off my rocker, but I think that would be the best thing to happen in Denver.
I take that back. He is planning to return if he can this season in the postseason.
That'd be huge for them because they need it.
Especially against Denver.
Yeah, they'll need that. B, earlier we were talking about Detroit and the Pistons as far as what do they need to do to improve upon the season next year. I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Like, what do you see them, either what players need to get rid of, what players need to bring in, or is there like a GM coaching change that needs to happen?
No, coaching. No, I mean we just pretty much Stan Van was our GM/coach. He was the dual guy like how Doc Rivers was at one point at Clippers. But I still think we're like the Clippers, man. I mean, not like the Clippers because they
Same analogy I used.
they need we need a 3. We need that 3. We need a good 6'8", 6'9" guy that can defend multiple positions. Like that's
You think
That's what we need.
that's your most important?
I mean, yeah, because I mean we straight with centers and power forwards if we still sticking with Drummond and Blake Griffin. We
Because I
don't.
said I think y'all biggest weakness is point guard.
Oh, well, I already don't like Reggie Jackson. So I mean, if
When
we
does he come off the books?
I think after this upcoming year. After
Damn,
this-
he been there. I
that's
feel
what
like he
I'm
been there for
saying.
like 10 years.
No,
That's what I feel
no,
like.
man. It's just like he had that big. We gave him that big contract, man. When we took him from OKC.
But he had one good year though.
Yeah, he
Like, he had a
did. but
dominant
yeah,
year.
I mean, point guard, and we need a like a 3, like a wing guy.
So you don't think Luke Kennard is that guy for y'all? Because he came on.
Like
he
our
really
3?
came on. Yeah. Because he could play 2-3. He's
Yeah,
a
I would look
2-3.
at. Yeah, I look at him as more as like a 2. Like I can see him being like a Kyle Korver, maybe a little better than
Yeah,
Kyle
better.
Korver.
I think he's JJ.
because he got some toughness to him.
Yeah,
Man.
he
I
does
like
have
him.
some toughness.
I like
and
that.
he got escapability.
Yeah,
You pump
yeah.
fake one dribble, two
yeah,
dribbles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He has that about
But
his
yeah,
game.
point guard. Like if we could have got like Kemba Walker, man.
That's a problem.
Woo! With what we have already, and you just swap out Reggie Jackson for Kemba Walker. Maybe give him. We probably had to give him like maybe some draft picks or something like that. Maybe like another bench player. But like if you get Kemba Walker with that squad, shit, man. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, I've been wanting to get rid of Reggie Jackson. But Reggie Jackson and like a good 3. We need a good 6'8", 6'9" guy, man. That can just
You need a 3-and-D guy.
3 and D. Yeah, that's what we
You need a
need.
3 and D
That's what
guy.
we need. We need a 3 and D guy and another point guard, and we'll be on our way. We would be on our way.
Yeah, because I was telling him I like Ish.
I
but
like him too. He just
he's
too
not a
undersized.
starting point guard.
no, he's not.
But
He's
can
not.
he can start in a stretch due to injury.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? But because to me his playmaking is elite.
man.
But
it is.
he's a liability on defense.
He
He don't
is.
hit open shots.
Nope.
So it's kind of like you
I
like
know.
him, but you don't love him.
But he's not your
He's not your
starter.
starting
he's not
point
your.
guard.
This is my
No.
starting point guard for this team. No,
no.
he's not. Damn. But I like him though.
Yeah,
And
no, I
every
love
time when
Ish.
he's in over Reggie Jackson, I'm like,
Yep.
keep him in. Keep
Yep.
it. Don't put
Yep.
Reggie Jackson back in.
Because you
So-
just see the game change.
Yes,
with Ish,
it
man.
does.
He's a point
He's
guard's
a point guard.
guard.
Yeah, he is. He's a point. I love it, man. Like Blake be getting theirs, Drummond be getting their easy layups. I'm like, look at this. He just making everything look so easy for everybody else. And it's like soon Reggie Jackson come in, jacking up threes.
Yep.
and
Yep.
just-
Yep.
I'm
yep.
like, come
yep.
on, man, stop.
Reggie Jackson got that Russell Westbrook mentality.
Yeah, man, because
Bro,
he,
you
knew
not
he used to play. He felt like he was always at
Mhm.
Russell Westbrook level or whatever when they was over at OKC. But I'm like, Reggie, no, man. Like, come on, Bobby Schmurda. We need to let him go. we, need,
Oh
Bobby Schmurda
my
go.
God!
we need to let Bobby Schmurda go, man.
They should let him go about a week ago.
Man, yep, we should let him go about a week ago, man.
Oh, man.
Schmurda got to go.
All right. So yeah, with Toronto getting this big dub over Philly, it's gonna be very interesting to see how these second round.
What happened? I ain't even watched
Yeah,
it.
They lost
I-
by 36.
120,
Jesus.
120,
Yeah, I know. I saw it. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
89.
125 to
That was a
89.
total team effort for Toronto. Home cooking, comfortable back home. I think that was it. But Joel, I'm reading a
8
tweet.
turnovers.
Yeah, 19
Dude.
this series, but
5 for 10.
Yeah, I don't
2
know
for
what they did
6,
to him,
only
but I'm reading
6
a-
rebounds. Wow.
Yeah, Joel got to be dominant, man.
JJ Redick was whack tonight. 1
Yeah.
for 6.
So here's what Joel said. Michael Lee said that Joel Embiid told Drake the 76ers will be back in Toronto for Game 7.
Okay, back it up then.
We'll see.
Hey man, that's
We'll-
what I'm saying.
yeah,
man.
we'll see how these second round playoffs go, and we'll definitely be on people's ass about it.
yeah, Toronto, they whole starting 5 hit double digits.
Mm-hmm.
For next week. But yeah, that's
Kyle Lowry, mate.
Kyle Lowry had 19 points. Yeah.
that's us for this week. We'll catch y'all next week on to update y'all on these playoffs. We out.
All
Peace.
right, peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he is, but he is. Nigga, 36 and 14. Nigga, goddamn. Goddamn.
He had a different look on his face
Yep.
the other night. I was like, okay, that motherfucker.
Yeah, let me show y'all this shit. A couple of my homies done goddamn sent me this shit. This shit is funny as hell.
It's not over yet. Closeout games are tough, man.
I was saying.
At home, closeout games are tough. That's beautiful. That ass. Fuck the Jet, nigga. Fuck the Jet jump shot. Let me see that again.
Yo, hey, that was the first thing on my timeline. That's not even what I was gonna show y'all, but goddamn, I gotta share that. Be like, oh, hold on, nigga, I did. Bro, my timeline be popping, bro. My timeline be popping.
too.
Oh man, yeah, both of them, bro. Holy shit. But this is what I wanted to show y'all.